Guys, it's Maya. Welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for clicking on our video today. As you can see by the title, this is your love life in 2026 reading. So thank you so much for staying patient. I got so many messages, like emails, over the month of December asking me if I'm doing love life in 2026, and I'm like, yes, of course. There's no way I would not. But thank you for staying patient, because I wanted to put this up as a series in January where we're talking about multiple 2026 reading videos. So that's why I didn't want to post them like early in December. So we're finally here, and thank you for those who emailed me. Thank you for staying patient about it as well. There is so much to talk about. There's actually an extended today as well. So literally get comfy, because we're about to dive in deep. We're going to be looking at your love life in 2026. We're going to be looking at who is showing up, what the energies are. We're going to get a timeline. And then in the extended, we're going to dive in deeper to who this person is. So it's like there's so much to talk about, and like different angles of it as well. So I'm pumped. I hope you're ready. I hope you're excited, and I hope you're comfy. So let's get right into it. I have 4 groups for you guys to choose from. Each group has a different tarot deck, different crystal, and a different card that came out as I shuffled. So let me go ahead and show you these options up close one by one. Group 1, this is the Light Seers Tarot. This is what the back looks like. And your crystal has like this other color attached to it. I don't remember the name of this, but this is your crystal. And your card is the Knight of Pentacles. Group 2, this is the Neoteric Feminine Tarot. This is what the back looks like. And your crystal is this lemon green onyx. And your card is the Queen of Cups, with the keywords compassion, warmth, kindness, intuition, healing, counseling, and support. Group 3, this is the Real Talk Tarot. This is what the back looks like. And your crystal is this dark green obsidian. And your card is the Ace of Wands. Group 4, this is the Gentle Heart Tarot. This is what the back looks like. And your crystal is this orange selenite ball. And your card is the Wheel of Fortune. Okay, you guys, here are all of your options laid out for you side by side. Keep in mind, you can watch as many as you would like. If you're drawn to multiple, feel free to pick and choose or watch all of them. I'm going to get started with group number 1. Hey guys, if you chose this Light Seers Tarot with the Knight of Pentacles and this black and cream colored, multicolored crystal here that I don't remember the name of, this is your group. Hello, group number 1. Thank you guys so much for being here. Thank you so much for clicking on this video today, whether it's your first time here or if you have watched my videos before. I really appreciate your time, your energy, just everything, your support. So thank you so much. Let's quickly go over our breakdown. So there is a lot to talk about, and we have an extended, like I mentioned earlier. So here on YouTube, we're going to be looking at the overall theme in your love life in 2026. We're also going to break down the next category to where we're looking at if you are single with no person, what is the energy in 2026? If you're single with a person on your mind, or if you're like in separation or something, like you're single but you have a person, that will be your energy. And then we'll also break down if you're in a relationship. So we're going to be looking at these 3 separately after the theme. And also I will put timestamps in the description, because if you just want to listen to one of these and not the others, you can skip them. And then we're going to look at your love life in 2026 in a timeline version. That's what we're going to do with the deck you chose. And then we're going to get advice. So this is here on YouTube. I will talk about the extended after our main reading. That way it's like a smooth transition into it. So yeah, that is everything for now. So let me find out where I want to set crystals today. Okay, maybe that's good. So I'm going to move this deck aside. And I have a bunch of cards here. So this is going to give us the energy check for today. And this is also going to show us your overall theme in love in 2026. Now, keep in mind, if we get into this and it just does not sound like you at all, then definitely check out a different group, because it's not necessarily, it could show your current energy, but it's also kind of showing the energy of love throughout this year. So, I would say kind of interpret it however it makes sense to you, but if it really does not make sense, definitely check out a different group. 222 on the time as I'm saying that, so let's get right into it. So let's see group one's overall theme in love in 2026. Ooh, we have Scorpio. I love that. I'm a Scorpio sun, so I love when we get to see some Scorpio out here. Ooh, the crow and dogwood with intelligence. We also have the number 10, 5, 6, 16. Sorry. Roman numerals always throw me off. Yeah, 16. And then we have your hard work is paying off. New moon in Capricorn. Somebody could have a moon in Capricorn, so that's also very specific, right? We were just talking about a sun in Scorpio, moon in Capricorn. Quicksilver moon with changes. One more card. We have the 5 of Wands with the number 26. 26 could be a significant age for somebody as well. Okay, I definitely feel like you're going through some kind of a change, some kind of like a deep spiritual change. And that seems like your theme in 2026. Because with Scorpio, and especially with the crow, this just made me think of death and a rebirth. And obviously not a physical death, but a spiritual death. And the death card is Scorpio energy. So especially with this black crow and the black crystal that you were drawn to, it just feels like there was some kind of a big transformation. Either it already happened in 2025 and you're like healing going into 2026, or there is a huge transformation happening within your emotions, within your spiritual life in 2026. Or did I say, I meant to say 2025, like something could have happened in 2025 and it's like lingering into 2026 and now you're healing, or the healing and the ending is also taking place in 2026. But it feels like you're really like rising above the ashes. That's another feeling I get when I see the death card, because it does indicate some kind of like a difficult ending, some kind of a transformation. We could even think about the tower moment, like something could have fallen apart in your love life, and I think you are slowly rebuilding yourself throughout 2026, especially with your hard work is paying off. It feels like you are really determined to overcome this situation. Whatever it was, it could have been pretty tough. It could have been pretty, like intense, especially if like you wanted something to work out and it didn't, and it kind of just fell apart all around you. It takes a lot of time and effort to rebuild yourself from that. That even feels like the Knight of Pentacles that you were drawn to, because the Knight of Pentacles, it's a very slow moving energy, but we are planting seeds. Every step we take, even if it's slow and even if these steps take time, we are making progress in the right direction. So it does feel like Spirit is saying to you, especially if you're going through this like ending and transformation period, don't rush yourself and don't be hard on yourself if it's taking longer than you originally thought, or if you feel like you're making slow progress. Progress is progress no matter what the speed is. And I think that's important for you to hear, is like, take your time when you're going through this transformation. Now, for some of you, you could have been through this transformation or like this rebuilding energy in 2025, and now you're stepping into like this new era in 2026. Because I love this image here with this person. They look very confident. And especially with it being white, we're talking about the darkness, we're talking about all the black, and then we see this person standing in the light. So even that feels like, for some of you, this could have been the past, and now you are stepping into this energy, into the light, as a new you, as a reborn energy, as somebody who has been through that spiritual awakening, and now you're standing strong in your truth, in this new version of yourself. And it's like somebody who went through the dark and came out to finally see the light at the end of the tunnel. So I think this energy, it could be either way. This transformation could be happening in 2026 for you. Some of you, this transformation could have started in 2025, and you're seeing yourself coming out into the light in 2026. Some of you, maybe you go through the full transformation in 2026, because it does feel like you are seeing the light in 2026. So it feels like even though there is this darkness or this healing, it doesn't consume the entire year. And I think that time frame is going to differ by person to person. For some of you, it could take a longer chunk of the year. For others of you, maybe it's a month or two, and you're finally coming out into this. So interpret that however that may feel right to you. Now, when we're talking about this rebuilding, it does feel like you getting your life back on track, and again, that is whatever it means to you, whether it's financially getting back on track, whether it's your career, your goals, your hobbies, your studies, providing for yourself, taking care of yourself, whether it's your physical health, your mental health, your spiritual health, whether it's detachment. I think that you rebuilding is like a main part of 2026 or a huge theme in 2026, because this sets you up for you in the future. This sets you up for you to be on the right path to attract the right type of love, to attract the right type of relationships, the right types of friendships and connections. It feels like you rebuilding your life, it's so much more than just your love life. It is your entire life that you are rebuilding and you are getting back on track, or you're just changing things. So I love this energy. It feels very empowering. It feels like somebody who is not backing down from a challenge, because I think that when things fall apart in our life, there's two ways a person can go about it. They could go about it in the way of, okay, I'm just gonna put a band-aid on it, or I'm gonna run away. I'm going to run away, I'm going to hide, I'm going to distract myself, whether that's with relationships or substances or negative lifestyles, negative energies. It's like I'm just going to distract myself and run away from the distraction, or I'm going to face it and I'm going to heal what needs to be healed, and I will, take my time with it, but I'm going to face it head on. So it's like there's two ways a person could confront some kind of a challenging energy in their life. And I think that's what I love about this, that it feels like you're confronting it. You're not running away from it. You're telling yourself, okay, we're not repeating patterns. We're not doing this again. I'm not going to live through this again. I'm not, especially if you have been repeating patterns up until now. I think you're in a very determined energy that's like, no, like I'm going to be disciplined. I'm going to be strict, and I'm going to heal, and I'm going to, move through this in the right way. And I think because of that, Spirit is really, how do I say it? Like they're rewarding you, especially if you feel like you have repeated these patterns before up until now. Because for some of you, I think Spirit is almost not like testing you. I feel like testing you is like a really like harsh way. They're not like testing you. They're not like drilling you about something, but it's like they're just kind of seeing. They're like, what has group 2 learned from the past? Is group 2 evolved enough to where they're recognizing patterns, they're recognizing behaviors, recognizing what they're putting themselves through, and are they going to come out of that? I think it's not that they're testing you, but they're almost just like observing you to see what you are going to do or how you're going to navigate the situation. And I think because I do think for your energy, you are choosing to learn and heal and really like end previous patterns. I think they're rewarding you, which is why you're coming out as this very confident, happy, energetically evolved energy, somebody who's really at peace. And it really feels like there's a lot of divine blessings that are coming into your love life, your emotional space, your heart chakra, because you have confronted something head on and you decided to heal and you decided to change from it. I feel like this Knight of Pentacles is you. And it feels like, this is you planting your seeds day by day, taking it one day at a time. It's also interesting to me how this person is walking barefoot on the grass, because that also feels like you're really reconnecting with the world around you. You're becoming aware of your surroundings. You're becoming aware of energies of higher power of the universe, or maybe if it's like a religion for you, like if you believe in a certain religion, you're becoming more aware of that, more in tune with that. And I think just with the world around you, you're becoming more aware of it. And I also think like healing with nature, spending time in nature, whether that's like meditating outside, going on walks outside, spending time just outside with nature, I think that's something that could be beneficial to your healing. There's something about like you reconnecting back to earth, reconnecting back with yourself, with your soul, with a true version of yourself as well, especially if that was hidden away for a while. But yeah, because even the crow and like the raven, like these black birds, they do symbolize some kind of an ending. Now, for some of you, if it's not like an ending within your own love life, then maybe it's like a different type of ending, you know, something that did take an emotional toll on you. You could be healing from that. But I do think this is a personal evolution kind of an energy that we see here. So yeah, Scorpio, Capricorn. Now, if you feel like this was in your past energy and you're stepping into 2026 as like this new version of yourself, then I could also see that spirit is rewarding you, you know, within your love life, and they are rewarding you within your heart space. So take this however it resonates with you. Now, what's so interesting about this Five of Wands is they're not like fighting. You know, normally with Five of Wands, we would see like five people and they're all like beating each other literally with sticks. Like they're all like arguing and they're about to like attack each other and it's like a conflict. But in this, it's like it almost feels like all the dogs are pulling on the same toy with equal speed, equal distance. Like it doesn't feel like they're fighting for it. It feels like they're playing. It feels balanced. It feels like an equal opportunity for all of them. You know what I mean? So I think like this is you with the universe and also with yourself. Like you're finding balance within yourself. You're not at a tug of war within your mind, heart, spirit, within you and the universe, within, you know, like the chaos that could have been going on in the past. It feels like you're finally, everything is finally balanced in your life. And that's what I love about this image. I mean, look at this. Come on. We have the swans, we have the gold and the white and the flowers, and this person just looks so confident and they're just radiating happiness because they have found peace and they have found healing and they have found that balance within their life, and they have, you know, got rid of the things that they don't need in their life anymore, and it's just like literally rising from the ashes. So I do feel like for a lot of you, you could have actually already gone through this and maybe you're stepping into this, the radiating energy now. And then for others of you, you might experience a little bit of this in 2026, but you will come out on the other side and you will find happiness. And I'm hearing spirits saying like, you cannot get to this happiness and this evolution if you do not go through this. You know, so that also takes us back to, are you confronting this and actually taking something out of this, or are you running away and putting a band-aid on this healing? Because you cannot get to being the best and ultimate version of yourself if you don't go through the dark first. You know, we can't get to the end of the tunnel to the light if we don't make our way through the darkness of the tunnel in the first place. So, you know, it's like you can't pick and choose. And I think that's what a lot of people try to do. They try to put a band-aid on it. They're like, you know what, I don't need to heal. I don't need to go through the tunnel. I'm just going to somehow find my way to the other side. And it just doesn't work. That's how you fall back into old patterns. That's how you end up repeating things. And you're just kind of in this loop, in a cycle that never ends. And I think you're realizing, yeah, like the only way I can get to this is to get through this. So it feels great. And that's what I'm sensing for your current energy and / your themes in your love life in 2026 so far. And especially for those of you, I think here's what I'm thinking, that all of you are gonna, for group one, if you do resonate with this, you have to go through this first. It just depends on your own time frame. Some of you, maybe you're at the end of this and you're starting this new journey, because it feels like this is where your love life is. This is where the blessings come in, or somebody comes in, or something happens, right? But so it does feel like some of you could be in this, some of you could already be coming out of this, but it feels like this is where that next step is. So now check out a different group, you know, if that doesn't resonate with you, if you feel like you're not going through this transformation and you're not going through all of this. I just love the determination, especially with this, what is it, like a sea goat? I don't exactly know what the Capricorn image is. I think it's a sea goat, but I just love like the horns. Like that to me shows determination and consistency. And it also shows me that you're not backing down from a challenge. And I just love that energy for this group. It just feels so brave. It feels so strong. And just feels like I will tackle anything in my way. I have my horns and I'm gonna go and I'm gonna tackle whatever I need to do. And I love that we have intelligence here, because even this feels like spiritual intelligence, emotional intelligence. Like this is not just giving me knowledge, you know, it's not just mental intelligence, but it's like a spiritual and emotional intelligence that you are gaining through this transformation. And I love that, because that shows you that this is not just healing you physically or mentally, it's healing you emotionally, spiritually, and physically and mentally. But it's like, it's not just a one thing. It's like literally so many aspects of you as a person are evolving because of this transformation. And that's why it's so important to go through this. Some of you could be going through a Saturn return, especially because 26. So I'm pretty sure right now Saturn is in Aries, and I'm pretty sure the dates are from like 1996 to 1999. So that would put you in that like 30, like 26 to 30 age gap right now, something like that. So you could be going through a Saturn return, which in it of itself is a massive transformation, you know. So yeah, for a lot of you, that could be the transformation you're experiencing right now. Okay, so now we're going to look at those three categories. So first, I'm going to look at if you're single with no person on your mind, what is your energy and love in 2026? And then we'll do the other two, and I will put timestamps down. But first, let's look at if you're single and you have no person on your mind. So what is the energy for those who are single and don't have a person on their mind for their love life in 2026? Love life in 2026, single with no person in mind. Oh! Divine love, harmony, blissful relationships, alignment, inner happiness, fulfillment, dreams come true, family contentment, total love and support. This is Pisces energy. This is Mars and Pisces specifically. Okay, so for those of you, if you are single with no person, where do I want to put this? I think I'll just leave it right here. Okay, so single with no person, it feels like you're really finding emotional fulfillment within your life. Remember we said that earlier with the Knight of Pentacles, that you're like really coming back to earth in a way, or coming back to your surroundings, or coming back to the life you live. And it feels like you're finding emotional support and happiness and emotional fulfillment, and feeling aligned emotionally to the life you want to live. Because this feels very much, especially because I'm talking to those of you who don't have a person in mind, it feels like you have finally filled your own cups. And in 2026, you're going to be on the path of filling your own cups. So that means you're not chasing connections just for fulfillment. You're not chasing immediate or temporary satisfactions. It feels like you are really prioritizing your own happiness, your own well-being, and your own fulfillment in your love life in 2026. And because of that, you are attracting the right people. From what I see of this being the 10 of Cups, it definitely feels like you could attract a very important loving relationship into your life in 2026, and it's all because you filled your own cups first. And I think that is what is the key takeaway that Spirit wants you to take away from this, is you would not be attracting the right people if you are not emotionally fulfilled by yourself. With the life that you're living, the environment around you, your career, your foundation, you sustaining yourself, like all of these things are you pouring into your own cup. And if you didn't have that, and if you were seeking people to fill that void within you, then you're never finding true love. You're never finding true happiness, because you're just seeking somebody to fill a void. But it feels like because of the healing and the transformations that you have gone through and are going through this year, you're really learning to pour into your own cups, to the point where you're not looking for love to fill your cups. You're looking for love because you are already fulfilled, and that you genuinely want love and want to be loved, and you want to give love, but you're not seeking it just for a temporary fulfillment. And I think that's very, very important. And this healing puts you on the path to this. So yeah, I so far 100% think, for those of you who are single and you don't have a person on your mind, you are really on the path of attracting a very important connection in 2026. So that's amazing. And that is the reward that Spirit is giving you, that we have been talking about this entire time. And it also feels like there's no like expectations. There's no, I do feel like with this, you don't have a person in mind at all. Like it almost feels like your judgment is not clouded, or you're not tunnel visioned. Even though literally the entire time I've been using a metaphor about a tunnel, it feels like you are not tunnel visioned. Did someone just say something? What the heck was that? I don't know. I think my mom might have said something really loud. But yeah. And because you're not tunnel visioned, you're just like going with the flow, and you're attracting who you need to attract, even if when you don't realize it. You know what I mean? Okay, so I love that. Definitely a lot of potential there for the group that you're single but you don't have a person. So next, let's look at if you're single but you do have a person on your mind. What is going on with that, Spirit? For those who are single but they do have somebody on their mind. Okay, for those who are single but do have a person on their mind, what is the message for them in their love life in 2020? Whoa. Wow, we have the Star. There's definitely a lot of like dreaming or daydreaming or fantasizing about somebody. It does feel like you have like kept your distance from this person though, because again, it feels like you're healing, right? Especially if this is like a new person in your life, and you like have a crush on them, you're admiring them, but you haven't come up and like expressed your feelings to them because you're evolving and changing. For almost all of you, it does feel like if you do have a person in mind, it is a new person. It is not the person that caused a tower moment, or it is not the person that broke your heart. It is not somebody from the past. It feels like a very new energy, or it's like, or if it's like a friend, or it's like, it feels like you have not been in a romantic relationship with this person before, but you are like dreaming and fantasizing about it. And I do think like it is giving like secret admirer vibes with this person. But I think you yourself realize you might not be ready for it yet, because you're still healing, right? It almost feels like you're not pushing it. You're kind of just like, you know, maybe friends with this person, or just kind of observing from a distance, you know, however that might resonate with you. But it feels like you have a level of self-awareness that you might not be 100% healed from the past in order to give this person your all. And I think you are becoming evolved, right? So you're healing, and you have this sense of awareness that you know that you cannot be with somebody if you are not fully healed from the past. It feels like if you want to be with somebody, you want to give them 100% of yourself, and you don't want to like take the chance with somebody if you're not 100% done with the past, or 100% healed from the past. So it does feel like there's definitely somebody that is giving you butterflies, that's making you excited, and it just feels like you're just waiting. You're just kind of taking it a day at a time, waiting. It's like you have hope and you have this excitement, but you don't want to push it. You don't want to like scare them, or you don't want to do something that's not aligned with you right now, especially if you're not fully done healing from this moment, this tower moment, or this rebirth. And if you do have a person in mind, I think this also goes for if you're single, but it really does feel like you're becoming very emotionally intelligent. And because you have emotional intelligence, you're able to hold yourself back. You're able to, tell yourself, hey, I'm not ready. Yes, I have feelings for this person, but I'm not ready for this person. And that takes emotional intelligence, because if you don't have that, then you're just jumping into things and causing chaos and repeating cycles and not healing and everything we kind of already talked about. So it feels like for those who are single and don't have a person, but also if you do have a person, there is this mutual energy of we are gaining emotional intelligence in 2026. And that is really helping us navigate our love life, navigate our feelings, navigate how we act and how we react to things. So that is also feeling very good for group 2. Oh my god, you're not group 2, you're group 1. Sorry. Okay. This is Pisces, specifically Mars in Pisces, and this is Aquarius energy with the star. Okay, now let's look at a card for those who are in a relationship in 2026. Those who are in a relationship, what is their message for love life in 2026 if they are in a relationship this year? Okay, let me clarify. Let's clarify the Ten of Wands. You know what's so interesting? Hold on. Yeah. Okay. That's exactly what I was about to say. So thank you. Earlier, when I was talking about the main energies up here, I was giving you this, I was like, some of you are already going through the healing. Some of you probably are going through the healing in 2026. So it does feel like this is very specific. If you are coming into this year and you have not had a tower moment yet, and if you are in a relationship, I do think that, okay, you know what, only if it resonates with you, but it does feel like it's this relationship that is causing the tower moment, or that is causing the sense of burnout and the sense of that I don't know if I want to be in this anymore. And for a lot of you, it feels like this relationship would cause the healing. Now, again, not for everybody. If you feel like you are in a healthy dynamic with somebody, you're in a healthy relationship with somebody, then take this maybe with a grain of salt, but it really feels like that's what I sensed earlier. Because I kept saying, I was like, some of you, especially I think these energies here, these are the groups where you've already gone through this, or this healing will end in 2026, like early in the year in 2026. But for some of you, if you have not gone through this yet, then it is happening at some point in 2026 for your emotional healing, and it's because of something that causes it. And yeah, so take that however it might resonate, but it does feel like the relationship that you are in this year or going into 2026 in a connection, it's not the best. I think here, what it says, doing it all, carrying the burden, release, overstressed, burnt out. And the Ten of Wands is a burden. It's like feeling like the whole world is on your shoulders and you can't do anything about it. You don't have help, you don't have support, and you're crumbling. You're literally falling apart. And that's what essentially leads to the tower moment. Because this is like, okay, the weight is building, 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 and then the tower moment is what causes it to collapse. And I think that's what this dynamic that you are in is causing, everything I mentioned in the beginning. So for those of you, I think you would have already resonated with this, because I think intuitively Spirit is already saying to you, yeah, like those of you who are in an unhealthy dynamic, there is a healing stage that's coming up to help you overcome this. And I think you would already intuitively resonate with it, that this, that something's not right here within your current connection. And I love that we have the Three of Wands, because this shows me awareness. this shows me that you have this understanding that, yeah, I think this is not for me, and I think I do have to move on, or I do think that there is something like this healing waiting for me, or there is something more waiting for me, or there is a real relationship out there that would be a good relationship for me. It's like the Three of Wands here, it's giving me that you have awareness, the wheels are turning. And I think that for a lot of you, this is Spirit giving you confirmation that whoever you're dealing with, whatever type of the relationship is or the connection is, if they cause you to feel this way with the Ten of Wands, then you're 100% correct to feel like you need to move on, or you need to get away from this, or you need to go through whatever we're talking about here. Because once you get here, then you get to this energy, which is what we were talking about, that emotional intelligence and the healing and all these things, right? It feels like you could be like this. If you're in a relationship, you're feeling like the Ten of Wands, but you want to be like the imagery of what we see up here. So if you are with somebody, I think, 99%, not 100%, because nothing's ever set in stone, but I think there's a very, very, very high chance that Spirit is encouraging you to walk away from some kind of a relationship that's not serving your best interest. And 33 on the time. Okay, those are my 3 little groups. So I don't want to do that because I want to see all the cards. Okay, that's pretty. So let's get into, wow, we're already at almost 34 minutes, and now we're getting into the deck. Okay, so let's go ahead and look at your love life in 2026 as a timeline. So I'll probably get like 5 cards. So we'll do like the first quarter of the year, second quarter, third, fourth, or like kind of like that to kind of see, how the year shapes out for your love life. So for group 1's love life in 2026, let's get a timeline. So the first few months of the year, what is the first few months of the year? What does that look like for group 1's love life? First few months of the year, group 1's love life. Page of Cups. All right, let's just get it in a timeline. Group 1's love life in 2026. Whoa. Group 1's love life in 2026. What is coming in next for their timeline of events in their love life? The Chariot. Oh, look, this is what I've been rambling about for the past 35 minutes. Death and rebirth. Group 1's love life in 2026 timeline. We have the Ace of Pentacles. Oh, Ace of Cups. Ace of Pentacles, 2 of Pentacles. Oh, there's a star again. That's a repeating card. And then we have the Ace of Cups. I'll take the star too. Okay, there's a lot going on. I want to move this up just a little bit. Oh wait, this came out like that. I will say one thing you are really learning in 2026 is self-love and also emotional intelligence, which I did talk about a little bit for those mini sections over there. So it does feel like early on in the year, so like we're in January, right? So in like January, give or take a few months, early on in the year, it feels like there is this realization that like something has to change. Now, for those of you who are going into this energy here of this, transformation and stuff, I think you're realizing it early on in the year, that you have to accept the change and accept the death and the rebirth that is coming in spiritually, emotionally, mentally, all of that. And I think that really does talk about walking away from a specific connection or specific people, specific patterns, specific habits, specific lifestyle choices, like all of these things that is like coming up to your awareness very early on in the year. And it also feels like because it's a new year and you're probably burnt out and not happy, you're realizing, I don't want to live like this forever. I don't want to deal with this for another year. And I think that is what you have to listen to. That is your logic, but also your emotions talking to you, saying something has to change. So it does feel like very early on in the year, you're having that sense of realization, which jumps you into this transformation. And I think you're very excited about it, especially if you've been living a life that is not happy, you have not been fulfilled, you have not been satisfied, you're tired, you're burnt out, then obviously you're going into this happy because now you're detaching from the anchors that were pulling you down in the first place. So it's a very good energy to start the year off with, but Spirit is saying you have to take it seriously and you have to see it through, that you do get through it. For those of you, if you have already gone through this awakening or transformation and you're not like at the beginning, but maybe you're already in it or you're coming to the end of it, then I just see a lot of like positivity early on in the year. You're really moving in the right direction and you're just like excited. It's almost like this giddy childlike energy of like, oh, like I can do whatever I want with my life, or like I get to set my own schedule and my own rules and I get to do what makes me happy. It's like this very exciting energy that and a sense of freedom that you haven't really felt before. And I think you are very driven and motivated to have fun and to really learn about yourself and live a very authentic life to yourself. And yeah, that seems to be happening very early on. And then we have this death card here. I think for those of you, if you have not started your transformation, it is going to start like in the first quarter of the year, I would say, like January, February, March. I do think that's when this full transformation is happening. For those of you, if you have already gone through this transformation, I think that you are spending the first like 3 to 4 months of the year still healing. I don't think you're ready yet, because we even talked about that here. Like even the single people, you're still like not fully ready to go through to like get into another relationship or all of that. So it does feel like in the first few months, maybe the first 4-5 months of the year, you're really focusing on yourself, your healing, your evolution, but also like having fun, learning about yourself. And with that Chariot, like you're very driven to live this new life that you have given yourself. So it's really like all about you, I will say, for the first few months of the year. And then we kind of get into this like the second half of the year, and I see you being very... One thing that's interesting is this right here with the Ace of Pentacles and the Two of Pentacles. I think for some of you, there could be a romantic interest that comes in like the second half of the year, or somebody is like making you an offer in love and you're questioning it. And you could even be questioning if you're ready, because we kind of talked about that with the Star as well. So you could really be questioning, am I really ready for this? And I think you're, again, with that emotional intelligence that you have, I think you're kind of going back and forth about it, because I think you're just so invested in your own life, your own foundation, and there's just this sense of like, I'm not ready yet. So I wonder who that is. It does feel like a new person coming around or somebody who's interested in you, but you're just like, I don't know, I don't know. Because this really feels like you don't know if you're ready to give up your independence, or if you're ready to give up something in order to accommodate a relationship or a connection. And right now, like in the earlier on energies, maybe you don't sense that you would do that, but it feels like this is like later on in this year. Like maybe even like August, September, like later the second half of the year, you're like, you have really rebuilt yourself, you're really happy, and you're just like, like, am I ready to give that up to accommodate somebody in my life right now? So I do think you're kind of going back and forth about something. And then through the end of this year, there is so much love that you have for yourself, for life, it feels like you've done a total 360 when it comes to your healing, because the person you used to be to the person you are by the end of 2026, it's so different. And the person you are emotionally and your heart space and all of these things, it's just so different. And I think that's when you are more so ready to explore something in your love life. So it almost feels like for the majority of 2026, it's about you. It's about your healing. It's about your own growth, your own transformation. And it could, take a while. It could take months of this year. It could even take all year. But it does feel like by the time you get to the end, you're going to be so happy. There's so much emotional fulfillment and happiness because you stuck through with it, because you didn't take, shortcuts, you didn't try to cut corners, you didn't try to hide and run away from the healing. Because you healed, you're finally back on track to who you are meant to be living the life you're meant to live. Now, I will say, I do sense there is somebody for you, because as you are going through this healing, and I think once you kind of get to the final stage of this healing this year, that's when you're becoming aligned. Like, you're coming into alignment with somebody, because with the 10 of Cups, I definitely see there is somebody coming in. Even with the star out here twice, there is somebody coming in. It almost feels like the perfect person, the person I've been dreaming about, the person I've been manifesting, the person I've been waiting for, because I've been healing and almost like saving myself for this real relationship that I know is coming in. So there is almost like this intuitive knowledge, like you just know intuitively, like somebody is there. There's a soulmate. They're coming into my life when I am finally ready for them. And I think that's what motivates you even more this year, to get ready for them. You know what I mean? So definitely feels like there is somebody coming in, but kind of once you are in this stage. So yeah, okay, so that actually makes a lot of sense with like what I was feeling. So what I'm gonna do now, after 45 minutes, I'm going to give you some advice. And I'm not saying 45 minutes in a bad way. I'm just saying, like, wow, I had a lot to say today for you. Okay, let's go ahead and get some advice, and then I will read you what we're doing in our extended. So let's get advice here for Group 1's love life in 2026. Advice for Group 1's love life in 2026. Aww. I couldn't have said it more perfectly. Recovery. I feel like that's what I've been rambling about for 45 minutes, is your recovery. So great. We have more confirmation about that. Ooh, yes. I was thinking this is like if you were feeling like you're on the right path, you're asking Spirit, like, am I on the right path? Is there a person waiting for me at the end of this journey? Should I walk away from somebody? It's like whatever you were asking, that is a yes. Peaceful resolution. Aw, recovery and peaceful resolution. That's like so perfect. Choose a new direction. Yeah, I feel like that's for those of you who are debating if you should walk away from somebody, or for those of you who have not started your healing journey yet. That is what Spirit is encouraging you to do. So now in the extended, we're actually going to dive into who this person is. So we're going to get more info about your person. We're going to look at anything Spirit wants to, give us, but we'll try to get age, appearance, personality, job, what they do, etc. And you can use this as like a confirmation if you already know this person, because for some of you, you already kind of know who this person is, or maybe you already have feelings for them. And then for those of you who don't have somebody and this is a new person, you can kind of view it as like, okay, like something to look forward to, right? So that will also lead us into any important signs or events about this connection to look for, because even if you're not in a full-on relationship with them in this year, it's like it is happening. We do sense you are getting into a relationship with somebody, and that's what you are like preparing for and healing for. And you might even meet them this year, like who knows, right? So we're going to see any important signs or events. We'll also look at your long-term compatibility with this person, and we'll get a message directly from this person. So that is what we're going to do in the extended. So total, with everything together, your group is definitely like over an hour. And I think all the groups are probably going to be this long. So Yeah, but if this is where I'm leaving you off, thank you so much, you guys, for all of your support. Thank you for sitting here and letting me give you this message, even if I'm like rambling at times. But thank you so much for your support, for sharing your energy with me, for being here. And it just means the world to me because it's what I love to do. And I'm so happy that somebody's here to receive the messages on the other end of this. So thank you so much. If you're interested in a private reading, go ahead and email me. My schedule is open again. Thankfully, after the holiday season, I have more time now. So go ahead and email me. We can have a one-on-one session about your own journey, your own healing, or your own love life. If you want, personal clarity on what you should do next or what's happening, what's the advice for you. So go ahead and email me. And the extended is going to be linked in the description below. You can purchase it as an individual reading, or it'll also be up on on Patreon. There's different tiers now on Patreon, so definitely make sure you read it before you join. But the second tier has access to all of the extendeds plus all of the exclusive content that we have on Patreon. And there's like 2 full in-depth readings on Patreon plus other mini videos on Patreon too. So there's a lot going on Patreon. So definitely, if you want to join to stay up to date on everything, check that out. But you can also purchase it as a one-time purchase. I'm okay with anything. And if you don't want to purchase, I'm okay with that too. Thank you so much for everything. And if I'm leaving you here, take good care of yourself, you guys. And I'll talk to you very, very soon. Bye. Hey guys, if you chose this Queen of Cups with the Neoteric Feminine Tarot and this lemon green onyx, this is your group. Hello, group number 2. Thank you guys so much for being here. Thank you for all of your support, whether it's your first time here or if you have been on my channel before and watched videos before. Thank you so much for sharing your energy with me and just for being here. It really means the world to me. So let's get right into it. I have our breakdown right here. There's a lot to talk about, and we have this extended, like I mentioned in the intro. So here on YouTube, we're gonna look at your overall theme in love in 2026. We're gonna also break down the next section into 3 groups. So we're gonna be looking at the energies of if you're single and you don't have a person on mind, or in your life. We're gonna look at if you're single but you do have a person. And then we're gonna look at your energy if you are in a relationship. And then after that, we're gonna look at your love life in 2026 in a timeline. And then we'll get advice. And then I will go over... Did you guys hear that? There's a lot of birds outside. I have this little bird feeder, but it's not right by my window. It's actually downstairs by the front door. And there's like another bird feeder. So they kind of always like come into this area, like kind of where my window is, and they like chatter. I think they're like communicating and letting other birds know, hey, there's food here. But I always hear different bird noises, and I don't know if you heard that on camera. Anyway, I will talk about the extended at the end of our reading today. So let's get right into it. I am so excited. This is really a huge deep dive. Group 1's reading was like 45 minutes plus an additional like 15 to 19 minutes on the extended. So it was huge. I literally had to take a break because my voice was gone. So this is actually the next day. I realized, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna have to just take it easy the rest of the day yesterday. So it is first thing in the morning the next day. That's why I kind of sound a little groggy because I actually have not spoken yet today because I was like, you know what? I need to save my voice for this. So I'm warming up with you guys. So if I sound kind of groggy right now, but it'll get better, I promise. Okay. So I do want to talk about this Queen of Cups before we get into it. I feel like this is you. It feels like your energy for not just your love life, but who you've become as a person in 2026. But since we are talking about specifically your love life, it feels like you've healed a lot, group 2. And I feel like I don't think you are going through a huge transformation right now. I think your transformation has already happened. For some of you, it could have happened months ago. Others of you, it could have happened years ago, right? Like it's something that was in the past. And it feels like you are very evolved. You're very aligned to your higher self. You're very in tune with your higher self, and you're very evolved from who you used to be, especially like with all the changes and the transformations and the spiritual awakenings that you have been through. So I just love your current energy. You feel healed, you feel evolved, you feel very spiritually awake, and I feel like you're also very selective. You could be not like isolating yourself, but it's like you could be really withdrawn from people right now, especially from like society and maybe even social media and just like people around you, because that's something I feel happens whenever you become spiritually aware and you heal as a person. You kind of separate from the rest of the crowd. It's like oil and water. You know, you can't mix. At some point in time, you can't mix the two because you're just so different from these people. You have a higher level of consciousness. You're aware to more things. You're aware to energies and to spirituality and to healing. And, you know, like once you are a healed individual, it's like you become that oil and these people are like the water, and you just can't mix anymore. So it doesn't feel like you're isolating yourself and you're just like hiding in your home or something, but it feels like the more evolved you become, you're not able to connect or like blend in with society, with people that are not on the same level as you. So it's like you kind of just gravitate towards either like spending time on your own because, you know, a lot of people just don't understand what you're going through, or it's like you have a few like-minded people that are your friends, but I think like the majority of the people around you, you just can't relate anymore. You know what I mean? Like you just can't relate, they can't relate to you, but you're okay with that. And that's what I love about your energy, because it really feels like you're not chasing validation, you're not chasing people, you're not chasing love, you're not chasing friendships, even family. I could see you detached from family or from people that just no longer serve you. And I think to you, it's either like you're either on my wavelength and you understand what I'm going through, what I've been through, who I have evolved into, or you don't. Like it's that easy. And I think you have that level of discernment, you have that level of wisdom, and maybe you didn't have that like in the past and before your healing, but you definitely have that now. And that's why I just love this group, because you're selective, you don't just give your heart out, you protect your energy. And I also think all of that is valid in your love life. You know, you're not just giving your heart out to just anyone that knocks on the door, right? So it's like you're very selective with who you want, because you have an ideal person in mind. And it's like, it's funny because I feel like you're either like, this is you coming through, or this is like your higher self or your spirit guides, but they're so sassy. Like somebody here is very sassy, and they're just like, I did not go through hell and back. Like that's how I'm hearing it, like hell and back. So I guess like if you haven't heard that saying before, it means like I haven't gone through all that chaos and pain and heartbreak, go through that and come back to settle in love, or to just date some random person, or to just be with somebody where it's less than I deserve. It's like I did not go through hell and back to settle in love. And they're just like, they're very sassy about it, and they're just like, yeah, like I'm waiting until I find the right person. I'm not chasing. And I also think because you're so in like your own group, like compared to the rest of society, it's probably hard for you to find somebody, you know. And I think that's another reason, because it's not only hard for friendships, I think dating becomes hard too, because then you're kind of in this own little space and not many people are there. So even dating is a bit more like a smaller pool, and maybe in your everyday life it's like maybe 1 in like 100 people you meet vibes with you. So then it's like it makes dating even harder, because you already have what you want in a person, but then now the population is even smaller. So, but I like that you're not chasing, like you're not gonna settle. You know what you deserve, and you'll stay single. Like I'm hearing you're like, I will stay single as long as I need to, because I'm happy being single. You know, that's your energy. I feel like you're very happy, you're content, you're independent, you take care of yourself, your bills are paid. It's like I'm not, you know, I'm vibing. And I love that, because that shows me that you're like genuine and very authentic within your love life, and you're just you're already fulfilled within yourself. And that's why it feels like the healing and the transformation or the spiritual awakening, it happened a while ago. I don't think it happened yesterday. I don't think you're going through it. For some of you, it could be a shorter space from the time like you went through that and you're healed to who you are today. But to get to this level, it's not just like a course. It's not just like okay, I'm gonna journal for a day or two and I'll be this person. It's not like okay, let me just like take a couple of days off and I'll be this person. That's not it. It's literally going to hell and back. It's literally difficult to have done that shadow work, to have healed, to go through that spiritual awakening. It is tough. It is not a slap on the wrist. It's not a band-aid. So that's why it feels like this is like months or years in the making for you. I love it. Let's get into your energy check. So if you feel like the energies doesn't resonate with you, then definitely check out a different group. But we're starting off with your overall theme in love in 2026. So this is a little bit of your current energy, but it's also the energy of the future. So it is predictive to some extent. So if you feel like this really doesn't sound like you and you're just like, there's no way this is going to be my love life in 2026, you know that better than I do, and this is a general reading, definitely check out a different group. But if this does resonate with you, then stay tuned, because after that we will go into the deck you guys chose. Okay, so let's look at what is the overall theme for Group 2's love life in 2026. Oh my gosh, ascendant. So this is your rising, like your rising sign in astrology, but this literally is like kind of what I was saying, like you're ascending on top of humanity, on top of the people around you, on top of society. Like this is what I was talking about, that water and oil don't mix. You are ascending in wavelengths, in frequencies. Like it's literally like you're rising to the top. Oh, you know what's so interesting? I watched a reading the other day that was kind of talking about something similar to that ascending message. And she said that when you're ascending, and I think she gave the analogy of like a mountain, when you're ascending, she was like, it's lonely at the top. And I was just saying that, right? Like you're kind of not mixing with society and you find your pool of people getting smaller and smaller. That's so interesting. So we have ascendant, that is your rising sign. So take this as like whatever your rising sign is, but your rising sign is, it's like how you present yourself to this world. So we have our sun, we have our moon, and then we have our rising. And our rising is like almost like our true identity. So that is very interesting. I will come back to that. We have the fox and ivy with adaptability. We have the number 10, 20, okay, so that's 27. You could definitely be going through a Saturn return, because Saturn is in Aries right now, and that's the years of 1996 to 1999, so 27 would definitely fall into that category. A time for healing. Take a risk. Oh, I love that. Purple, there's a lot of purple going on, and that is your third eye. Wow, the Hierophant with the number 5. You're definitely an old soul, Group 2, and I think that is very cool that we see this elephant here, because every time I see an elephant in readings or in spirituality, it just always makes me think of an old soul, because elephants just, they give old soul vibes, and I think they live a long time. I'm not 100% sure about that, but they just feel like wisdom, they're just this old soul. And I feel like you are really evolving into your higher self, into who your soul really is. And I really love that. Wow, this energy is just so cool. I feel like Group 2, you're really on this quest of finding out who you truly are. And it really is a quest. Like, I feel like you're not just, we've already talked about you healing and you doing a lot of the inner work, but it feels like that inner work is almost like never ending, because every day you're evolving closer and closer to who your higher self is, to who your soul truly is, to what you want to do, to what your intuition is calling you out for, especially with this ascendant here. I feel like every day you are getting closer and closer to the ideal version of yourself, to the ideal life you want to live. And I think all of this is because you've gone through that transformation and because you've healed. And it's interesting, it says a time for healing. And I think what this is saying is like the major chunk of your healing is over. But you know, when like you kind of ascend to a certain wavelength and to a certain level, and it's like even though my major healing has already been done, whether that's months ago, years ago, it's like I'm still evolving. It's like you're always in this evolution kind of an energy. You're always evolving, and it's always kind of like this healing energy. You're always trying to better yourself from who you used to be the day before or from the week before. So it feels like your energy, it's like it's not like you're in this healing right now, but it's like there's always like this healing going on in the background. You know, like when you're on your computer or something and you're like, for example, like on Patreon, when I upload something, it's like upload complete, processing will happen in the background, like you can turn off your computer or whatever. It's kind of like that. It's like no matter if you're already done healing, there's still healing going on in the background. There's still that evolution, there's still that intuition, there's still like connecting the dots and all these things that are going on in the background. And I love that because I feel like that really influences everything else. Like everything I just mentioned up until now, I feel like that's pretty accurate to what I'm seeing here. The Hierophant is a very spiritual being. It's probably the one of the most spiritual beings in our major arcana because it is the higher power. You know, the Hierophant is like the Pope in the traditional deck, and that doesn't have to be through a religion, but it's like this is a higher power. I'm like kind of getting chills because it feels like you are ascending to some higher power. And it's like you're doing all this behind the scenes work, you're doing all this spiritual work, and it's been in the works for a very long time. And I feel, yeah, like that's what I was saying. It's like you can't mesh with people anymore. You're just really ascending above everybody. And I love it because I feel like you wear your crown and you wear it proudly. No matter how evolved you become, I think you just feel more and more comfortable in your skin, more and more comfortable with who you are as a person and with what you are giving to this world and what you're taking away from it. And I really hear you saying, it's like, I would not want to be anybody else. Like, I love myself, I love this life, I love my soul, I love my higher self, I love my purpose here on earth, and I would not want to be anybody else. So there is literally this like true emotional fulfillment that is radiating out of you, and it is just evolving. Like, that is not stopping. Your healing, this higher evolution is not stopping anytime soon. And your life could look different from who you used to be, or there could be a major change happening in your life in 2026 with adaptability here. It feels like something could be changing, or if things are always changing or things have already changed for you, I think you're very good at adapting to these new things, because that's another thing. When you become evolved and an evolved soul, you're not set in stone, because that's the first thing an evolved soul knows, is that nothing is set in stone, right? That's the surrendering, that's trusting faith, that's like releasing control. And I think that's the life you're living. You're not controlling every single thing. This is not a chess game. You're not controlling every move, and you are evolved enough to realize that I'm surrendering and life is just happening around me and the universe is taking me from A to B. And that's another reason I think you're so at peace and you're so calm. You know, you are so grounded because you're not controlling anything. You're like, all right, universe, this is what we're doing now. That's fine. And you're like, take me wherever you want to go next. And I think that the more evolved you become, the more flexible, like that's the word that's coming through. So adaptability and flexibility, the more flexible you become with you and the universe. And I feel like they literally are behind the wheel, you know what I mean? And you're just cruising, you're just hanging out, and you have a lot of faith and trust that they are taking you where you need to go. So again, that is even more confirmation to me that you are an evolved soul, because that's like evolution 101 is surrender, and you're not controlling the situation because nothing is set in stone. So I really love that. But I will say there could be a change coming into your life in 2026. And This take a risk is so funny. And also, you know what's so interesting? Before I keep going, I wanted to know about your love life in 2026. I think Spirit is giving me a bit of a more like an overall picture of your energy this year, which is fine. You know, we will get more information as I'm going, but I will say so far right now, we're getting more about you. Even though I spent 10 minutes before even looking at the cards ranting about you, but it's fine. So this is very specific because it feels like, you know, again, oil and water don't mix, right? We're talking about you kind of ascending above society. You're kind of withdrawn, you're kind of pulling back. And with that energy, it's very easy to like go into a bubble or to like go into that hermit, like that hermit shell. Like for like a hermit crab, it's so easy to just kind of withdraw and go into your own little bubble and your own little shell, which essentially becomes your comfort zone. And I think Spirit is encouraging you to take a risk and to come out of that comfort zone. You know, whether it works or it doesn't, it's like it doesn't matter what the scenario is, but I do think that the longer we stay detached, the more comfortable we become in that detachment. And there's definitely a message for you to take a risk this year, whether that's reaching out to somebody, because this feels like in love. This is specifically about love, because whether it's you find somebody that you like, whether it's online, whether it's in person, whether you have a crush on somebody, whether, you know, because it's funny because we're talking about all this energy of like surrendering, and the universe is going to put in front of us what we're meant to have. But it does feel like there's some aspect of your love life in 2026 where the universe wants you to come out of your comfort zone. It feels like specifically to love. I don't think this is in most other aspects, but it could even be about like everyday things as well, because again, the more withdrawal we become, the more comfortable we are apart from society. So maybe for some of you, it stems a little bit more than just love life. It could be about like making new friends or trying to put yourself out there and come out of that comfort zone that you have become accustomed to. But I think definitely in love, there's something here about you taking a leap of faith towards somebody, or you taking a risk, or you coming out of that comfort zone in your love life. And I think that could, you know, I don't know what it's going to lead to, but whether it's leads to something, whether it doesn't, I think Spirit just wants you to like get that thrill. It's like they want you to come out of that comfort and get a thrill, like get that jolt of energy, get that like, ooh, I have butterflies for somebody, so I'm going to go talk to them. You know what I mean? Like it's something like that. But I will say overall, group 2, I love your energy. I think this is kind of just repeating what I was saying earlier. So I think there is like major confirmations for if you did resonate with all of our messages that we talked about. I will say, if this is more than just your love life, then especially because we see this road here, so for some of you it's making me think of traveling or taking a road trip or doing something fun, you know, again with that message of when we come into a comfort zone, it's you know, we could stay there. And I think Spirit does want you to do a few things that are fun and maybe out of your comfort zone, and maybe that could involve meeting people. But I do think with this, you're really evolving into who you are truly meant to be. Check out your rising sign, and your rising sign is very, very important because it's about what your soul is truly longing for. You know, I'm sure there's better ways to explain that, but it's like, to me, your rising, it's like the deepest like knowing of what your soul really is, who your soul really is and what your soul really wants. So definitely look into your rising sign, see how you identify with it, see what you can implement in 2026 that will help you align a little bit better to your higher self. So yeah, definitely check that out. So I'm gonna move on because I feel like, you know, I've kind of said what I need to say, especially with my little intro. So now we're going to go into the second part of our reading. If you feel like this does not resonate with you, then definitely check out a different group. Okay, sorry about that. I ended up getting a phone call, and then I also decided to switch out the candle. So I'm back. Let's get into this deck here. Okay, so Let's now look at the 3 little mini groups. So first we're going to look at if you are single and you have no person on your mind. Let's see what is the energy in your love life in 2026. So for those who are single and have no person on their mind, what is their energy in love life in 2026? Whoa, okay. Nice. We have 2 of these coming out together. I was about to say, okay. Or what was I? I was about to say something. I was about to be like, oh, there's some tea. So I don't think there's like drama between you and somebody, but it does feel, what I thought immediately is there does seem to be somebody who's like interested in you this year, but I think you might be a little bit, not like you're not interested, but I think you're definitely going to have your guard up. And I think you're going to make this person work for it. I don't know why it's coming through like that. And that's why, like, when I first saw the cards, I was like, oh, wow, interesting. Because it feels like somebody does come in, and this person, you know, it's crazy. We literally got a king and a queen. So it's like literally counterpart energy. So for those of you who are single and you don't have a person on your mind, there is somebody coming in. And it does feel like this person is the one to approach you. And this person is the one to like want to pursue you, but you're, you know, like I said, you didn't go through all that just to get together with just anybody, right? Like, you know exactly what you want, and you want somebody that's on your level. So it feels like like I heard, like, you're making them work for it, but not in like a crazy way. Like, you're not putting them to work, but it's kind of like you're making them prove their worth to you. But I do think this is a really good person. I feel like they're very loving, they're very generous. They're very caring, and I think this is somebody who is emotionally intelligent. But I think maybe with just your experiences and just who you've become, I think you kind of have your walls up, right? Like, you're not just letting anybody in. So I think that even though this is a good person, you are a little hesitant about it at first, and I think you're kind of like, okay, like, prove it, or like, okay, we're gonna take it slow. I want to make sure that you actually care and you're gonna stick around and you're not just here for like temporary satisfaction and all of that. So that's really funny. And it's funny because I feel like you're sassy, and again, there's that message of like somebody is sassy. So maybe group 2, you are sassy. And here we have the Queen of Cups as your intro card. So you're really like sitting in your power, you're sitting on your throne, you have your crown on, and you're like, you know what, if you want to be with me, then like we gotta see what you bring to the table. And I think that this person really likes you. They like genuinely think you're so cool, you're so independent. And also you see that this is a king and a queen. This is not like an off balance court cards situation. This is equal counterpart energy. So they're also evolved, and they see how you are very evolved. You're very independent, you're self-sufficient, you're hardworking, and you're also very emotionally intelligent. And they probably are attracted to your spirituality as well, and how spiritually aware you are. So it really feels like you're a good match in the sense of like you're on the same level as each other. But I do think that you take it very slow with this person, and not because you don't trust them, but I think just the mindset of you dating right now, you're like, I need to know that you're in it for the long run, or like, I need to know you're not just in it for a hookup or something temporary. Like, you're gonna make them work in that sense, and you're not gonna just rush into something. So I think even if you do somewhat have feelings, oh my god, I just realized with the King and Queen of Cups, we have the court cards for the same suit. That's cool. So it's like, I'm not really right away, I'm not sensing if this is something that's going to last long term. I think there is potential, but it does feel like you're going to make them work a little bit for it, which I think is very interesting. I think you also like lay the rules. Not like there's rules. I'm making you sound very strict and like kind of like a dictator or something, but there's no rules. I think you're setting the stage for like, okay, like, these are my expectations, this is what I want in a relationship. Like, you're setting the ground rules in that sense. And I think I just love this person, actually. I think they're so sweet. They are so like hardworking, but they're very genuine with their emotions, and they're very much like, okay, like you could just be rambling about something and I could see this person just like looking at you, and they're just like, oh, okay, that's fine. You can say whatever you want to say. I just think you're so pretty, or I think you're so intelligent. I think you're so amazing. And they're just so like infatuated with you, but like through love. And you see, we don't see any fire here for those of you who are single, and um there's no fire, you know, because if I saw fire, now if I saw the Queen of Swords and the King of Wands, for those of you who are single but don't have anyone on your mind, if I saw the King of Wands or even the Queen of Wands, I would have been like, you know what, they're probably just here to do something physical with you, to put it in better terms. They're just here for a physical interaction or temporary satisfaction. But I don't see that. I don't see any wands. So it feels like there's actually, like, this person they're not motivated through lust. They're not motivated through a physical relationship with you. They're literally motivated through their heart. And you know what's so interesting? I wanted to say this earlier, but I feel like for group 2, you could be the type of person who used to be really nice, and maybe you're still very nice. But when I was sitting with this energy, it was like, you know, like you're almost forced to be kind of disciplined, or to not disciplined, but like you're forced to be strict with people. And you're not like being rude, but you're like forced to like put your foot down. You're forced to be strict, say it as it is, because I think you used to be really nice, but people took advantage of that. So I think even in this situation, if somebody new is coming into your life, you're just like, you have to like be strict. You have to put up that wall because you don't want somebody to take advantage of your kindness. Because I do see kindness. I see that you have the biggest and fullest heart, and all you have is love and compassion and empathy for people. But I do think that was used as a weapon against you in the past. And I think that as you have healed and evolved, you're wired to be strict with people, to not be so vulnerable or nice right away, because you don't want people to take advantage of you anymore, in a way. You know what I mean? So there's something going on for if you are single but you don't have a person. Next, let's see if you are single and you do have a person. So this is like you're single, but you have this person on your mind, or this is somebody that you're in a no contact with, or, you know, like you have a crush on them or something, but you're still single. So what is the energy for those who are single but they do have a person on their mind? What is the energy for their love life in 2026? Single. Also, you guys, I forgot to take an allergy med. I'll probably do that like now. I'll take a break after this. So excuse me for sniffling so much. For those who are single, ooh, so this is if you're single but you do have a person on your mind. We have the Page of Swords. I'll get one more card just because we got 2 for the first one. Okay, so normally 7 of Swords has like a negative connotation to it, but I'm not viewing it in a negative connotation right now. It's actually kind of makes sense with what I was originally thinking with the Page of Swords. If you have somebody on your mind, you're definitely like crushing, but it's a secret. It's like giving secret admirer vibes, because with the Page of Swords, as soon as I saw it, I saw curiosity, like the energy of curiosity, but you're like viewing them from a distance and you're curious about this person, or like you're viewing them on social media and you're like curious and you like want to talk to them, but you don't know how, or you don't know how to approach them. You don't know if they're single, like you don't know what the vibes are. Maybe you do know if they're single or not, but it's like you're curious and you have a crush and you're the secret admirer from a distance. Now again, this could be somebody that you're in no contact with. This could be somebody from your past. This could be somebody that's new and you've never dated them before. This could be a friend. It just feels like with the 7 of Swords, it's like you're hiding the truth because you are curious about this person and you have feelings, but you don't want to let them know. So you're like doing your best to like hide the feelings. And I think we were just saying that, weren't we, to like take a risk for some of you if you've kind of been like hiding feelings, or if you're in your comfort zone. Spirit is really encouraging you to like come out and like be vocal about it, or maybe reach out to this person, or say something to this person. I do think with so many swords going on in all of these here, it feels like there's a lot of like like you're holding yourself back mentally, or there's a lot of like chatter in your mind that's like, you know what, group two, let's just hold back, let's not do it, like we don't know where things would go, let's just not do it. And I think you're really playing it safe because your brain is like telling you to play it safe, which is fine. I mean, that's fair, that's valid. But I think with take a risk being one of your main themes in 2026 in your love life, spirit is encouraging you, obviously, like, don't do anything crazy, like don't do crazy stuff, but you know, they're really encouraging you, like if you have a crush, if you want to talk to somebody, if you want to make that first move towards somebody, like you should take that risk, whether anything comes out of it or not. Because I think that your brain, you know, our logic will, it will keep us hidden for as long as it wants, because our logic, it, like our heart wants something, but our logic is trying to keep us safe, right? Like that makes sense. You're a human, and the brain is wired to take care of you. The human brain is literally wired to protect you and to heal you and to take care of you and to give you insights, and that's why we have logic. So it's like, it makes sense that your brain wants you to hold back, but it does feel like you got your eyes on somebody, and I think that the universe is encouraging you to some extent to take a risk and to reach out to this person, or drop a hint, or do something, you know, do something, whether it's in person, whether it's online. But yeah, I think you're really curious about somebody. Now, for, you know, that's only take that if this is somebody that you would want to come back. Because if there is a person on your mind, then I could, okay, I'll read this in two ways. So that would be my message for if this person on your mind is somebody you want to pursue. Now, we don't all want to pursue someone we're thinking about, right? So if there's somebody on your mind that you're like, I'm not doing that again, but they're on your mind, you're thinking about them, then I would honestly view this in the more of a negative connotation way that I was talking about earlier, is that maybe you can't really trust them. If there is somebody on your mind and you're like hesitant about what to do and if you should reach out, I think your intuition, again, your brain, it's your logic is trying to save you, it's trying to protect you, and I think you're onto something. Because the Seven of Swords, I mean, if I read the key words, it says betrayal, deception, getting away with something, trickery. So that is the main energy with the Seven of Swords. It's hiding something, you're keeping something secret, you're getting away with something, you're not revealing the truth about something. So I think that if there is somebody on your mind, but you do not want to get back together with them, or you don't care about them, or you're having a hard time trusting them, I think your intuition is correct, and I think you should not trust them. And I think that if you are single and you know, you're not interested in this person, then that would put you in this category, right? So forget about them, right? Like, they don't matter, because then that would put you in, you're open to anybody. But I would say this seems very positive and ties to that if it is somebody you want to pursue. Okay, so now let's look at, for those of you, if you are in a relationship, I will say, I think some of you could be in a relationship. I think that you could have gone through this healing journey in a relationship with somebody, or even in a marriage with somebody. So not everyone has to be single during this period in your life, but let's see, what is the energy for those who are in a relationship in 2026? What is the energy of those who are in a relationship in 2026? Oopsies! Okay, Five of Swords. Can we clarify, what is the energy of those who are in a relationship, who are already in a relationship? The Four of Cups is also here. if you are actively in a relationship with somebody, it's like something is being revealed. That's so interesting. Even for this, right? We have so many swords out here. And it feels like something is being revealed. I don't know what is being revealed. And even with that Four of Cups here, it's like something is finally making sense. You've been pondering about something for a while and it finally makes sense. But I will say it's the energy of like, I have my answer. I don't know why it's coming through. It's like you've been seeking an answer. You had a question in mind, like you had a doubt or you had something in mind and you've been seeking clarity about the situation. And I do think in 2026, maybe even in early 2026, you are receiving the clarity that you have been seeking regarding a relationship that you are in right now. Maybe for some of you, it ties back to this person here that like you're single, but you have somebody on your mind. Maybe you're kind of in a relationship with them. I don't know. Because this all feels like the same energy. It feels like your intuition is right about something. And I think you're seeking like physical proof or like physical clarity, physical validation. I don't know, like you're seeking something physical to what your intuition is already agreeing to. Like your intuition is already saying yes. But you're like seeking physical proof. I think you will receive physical proof, or you will realize that your intuition was right about something this whole time. So that's interesting. I wanted something a bit more positive, but it does, I will be honest, it's the energy of like, okay, I was right. Like my intuition was right. And it does feel like a sense of detaching from that person or walking away from that person. And I will say, even this, if there was somebody on your mind, it's like the universe is encouraging you to detach. And this also feels that way. I know, right? I went into it wanting something more positive, but I'm honest, and something just doesn't really seem right here. Especially if you're in a relationship and this person is taking away from your healing, taking away from your peace, taking away from the life that you want to live, then clearly they're not a good match for you. If they're not able to let you evolve the way you need to, then yeah, there's something wrong. And I will say the most positive one out of all of these were if you're single and you don't have somebody on your mind. So this feels like a new person, because I don't think you've met this person yet, because they're not on your mind yet. You know what I mean? Like you don't really know them yet. But it feels like if you do have somebody on your mind, there's a lot of messages talking about that it's not worth it. Something's not worth it with this person. It feels like this person would actually pull you back in your healing, pull you back in your path. They would somehow hinder your growth and your evolution. That's me being honest, you guys. There's a change in tone. There's a change in energy. I always want to say, that's your soulmate. They love you, right? But I'm not going to be delusional. I'm also not going to give you delusional messages. So this feels very positive, though. For a new person coming into your life in 2026, it feels very positive. But again, for those of you, if you want this, you have to detach from somebody to open up space for a new person to come in. Now, these messages could be for like literally one of you, right? Like not everyone is in a relationship that's watching this. Not everyone has a person on their mind that they don't want to come back. So this can be interpreted in two ways. This can only be interpreted in one way. Take it however it resonates, okay? Now, I shall put the two more positive cards on the top, but I will keep all of these out just because that way we can look back on them, you know? So now let's get into your timeline. Okay. So now let's look at group 2's love life in 2026 in a timeline. And, you know, nothing is set in stone in time, but the way I'm going to look at it is like, excuse me, I'm gonna pull a few cards, and this will kind of be like earlier on in the year, middle of the year, later on in the year. Like, we'll kind of just look at it like that. So let's just see. Group 2's love life in 2026 in a timeline fashion. Group 2's love life in 2026 in a timeline. Love life in 2026. We have the 9 of Swords and the 8 of Cups. There's the Swords again. I'm telling you, there is some mental conflict going on. And it's like not aligning with who you're becoming. Because your energy is like ready to ascend. It's already ascended. Like, it is already evolving. But it feels like for those of you, if you have a person either like on your mind that's like really weighing down your energy, or like you're actively dealing with this person, it just feels like there's way too much mental conflict with this person, and they're actually holding you back to reach, because it's like a tug of war. It's like your soul wants to evolve in one way, right? Or like in one direction. It's like that oil and water energy. It's like you are oil, this person is water. Your soul wants to evolve in one way. This person is pulling you back to old patterns, old habits, the old you. And it's like you just don't mix anymore. So I really feel like for those of you, if you are in a relationship early on this year, you're going to walk away, or at least you're being advised to walk away. I do think early on this year, you will get that clarity that I don't want to do this for another year. I don't want to do this for even a couple more months, you know? Again, oil and water. You're just not mixing with this person. And your soul is trying to do bigger and better things, and it wants to evolve like a free bird. It doesn't want to be restricted in its evolution. And somebody is restricting your evolution. So literally early on in the year, we have that 8 of Cups of you walking away. And some of you, if you're living with this person, to like literally move away from this person. And I think the sooner you get away from this energy, the better, because then that helps you align to where you need to go. And then you can find oil. Then you can be oil and oil. You know what I mean? You can actually find somebody, that's a strange analogy to use, but you can find somebody that you actually mix with. Let's see, Group 2's love life. There's that 5 of Swords again. Arguments, disputes, aggression, bullying, conflict, hostile, stress. Like, I'm telling you, there's a lot of like mental conflict going on. I'm going to keep these together because that's a very similar energy to that 9 of Swords. And look at this clock down here. It's making me think of like time's running out. Like, you've spent a lot of time involved with somebody that's causing you to feel all this mental anguish. And it's like the time's running out, especially it's like, I can also see like the moment the clock is hitting midnight on like New Year's, and you're realizing, yeah, like I don't want to continue. I don't want to keep doing that. So that's definitely a specific message for those of you. If you have somebody you're dealing with, then I think very early on in the year, literally could have been midnight of New Year's, but you are realizing very early on that you want to walk away and you're not doing this anymore with this person. So let's keep going though, because that again doesn't resonate with everybody. That's only if you have somebody that's like in your life right now. But let's see. We have the Emperor. I love that. Group 2's love life in 2026. Ace of Wands. You see how things are turning up now? Especially the moment you walk away from somebody, it's like a whole 360. There's no tug of war anymore in your life, in your love life. Group 2's love life in 2026. The Star. Group 2's love life in 2026 as a timeline. The Hierophant again. There's her crown. I said that earlier, right? I was like, you're wearing your crown. There it is. Let's get one more card for Group 2's love life in 2026. And there, wow, you have a lot of major arcana. We have Justice. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 major arcana. And all of that happens, for those of you, if you're dealing with somebody, all of that comes in after you walk away from someone. Okay, wait, let me lay them side by side. Okay, so for group two's love life, I will say like early on in the year with that Emperor and that Ace of Wands energy, you're really taking back your power. And I think we were already talking about that, and you've already been in this kind of an energy to take back your power. But I really think you're like really settling in to who you are and to who you want to be. With that Emperor, I feel like you're finally taking charge on something new in your life. Here it says stability, structure, protection, authority, control, focus, discipline. It feels like, especially with that Ace of Wands, it's like you're finally in a comfortable place in life to do something fun, do something exciting because you have established yourself already. So I think that is more confirmation for those of you. This is also giving like working a lot within your career as well. So I do think for a lot of you, you're really focusing on your own foundation, especially going into 2026. And that's what gives you that spark. That's what gives you the excitement again, because you're really starting off this year like on the right path, on the right foot, because you're like, this is what I want and I'm gonna go do that. And I think that's why if there's anything in your way, group two, that's why the moment you get rid of it and you have complete freedom and authority over your own life and your own choices and whatever it is you want to do next, that's when you're going to find true emotional fulfillment, because you're just in this energy of like, I have a plan, I'm going to do what I want to do, and I don't want anybody to get in my way. So I think you're really going into this new year with like this spark in your love life. And I think that's where that take a risk comes in. I am getting more introverted energy again for group two's energy. So again, spirit is encouraging you. It's like if you want to go on a date, if you want even something little to happen in your love life, they want you to put yourself out there. You know, I use this analogy all the time, but like your next relationship, it's not going to come knocking on your front door. Like you have to go meet them out in the wild somewhere. So I think there is a lot of emphasis on you taking the risk and coming out of your comfort zone in 2026 if you want to progress in your love life. But I do see there is excitement, there's fun. I think earlier on in the year, to like the first half of the year, there's a lot of meeting new people or yeah, like even dates, new people, like something new, but it's like quick, it's fun, it's exciting. But again, they're saying you have to put yourself in the position to go after that. So there is a lot of encouragement for you to take that leap of faith, or to ask somebody out, or to make the first move. I think that is something that will make you feel very fulfilled. It also feels like, I'm going to be honest, it feels like you're not looking for anything serious for a lot of you right away. You're not looking for anything serious, at least in the first half of the year. Now, this is so interesting because the second half of the year, especially with the Hierophant and Justice, like that really feels like a higher level commitment. And this star, it literally feels like a dream come true. So it feels like, especially for those of you, once you detach from, I used this analogy in the other video too, like an anchor that's like holding you down, or like oil and water, like you're not mixing, right? Once you get rid of that and you're aligned to your own evolution and doing what you want to do, you definitely meet somebody. I feel like that's the King of Cups is coming in the middle of the year. And that's when you meet this person and you're like, oh my God, like this is too good to be true. And I think that's why you have your guard up at first, because you're like, how are we so similar? You know, how are you actually so interested in me? Like, I don't know, for some reason you're really doubting it, like I mentioned earlier. And I think that's this in the middle of the year. And it's because you have an open space. Like there's nobody taking up that love space in your life. So the door is open for this person to come in. And I also think there could be something involved with you taking a leap of faith, or you putting yourself in a position to meet this person. Because again, they're not coming to your front door. So with that like Ace of Wands energy, you're going out or you're mingling, you're meeting new friends, maybe even dating apps for some of you, or like online, like you're kind of shooting your shot with somebody. Or if you're in a physical environment, it feels like the universe takes you to some place and it also brings this person to that place. and you meet them and you're just like, oh my gosh, like very attracted, obviously, but something about it feels too good to be true. Feels like almost like a dream come true because of how compatible you are. And I think that's like mid-year. And it's so interesting because here we literally could be talking about higher level commitment. It definitely feels like 2026 is a year about you, though. I will emphasize that. This is a year about you getting yourself back on track as well. But yeah, I mean, it feels slow. It doesn't feel like you're just going to jump into something with this person, but it does feel like there is something that could be long-term potential with somebody that you meet halfway through the year. Let me just get one more card to clarify what kind of a relationship. Oh my gosh. You could even meet this person through like work or something, because we have the Six of Pentacles. Oh, generosity. Generosity, charity, community, material help, support, sharing, giving, and receiving, and gratitude. Here, this person's like handing out purses. It feels like a very 50-50 aligned type of a connection. I will say it feels kind of slow. Like, I don't think you would jump into something right away with this person, but you would make a good team. And I think you're really going to just kind of, yeah, like really test it out, like take it slow. And I think, like I said, this person is very generous. I feel like that's them like surprising you, supporting you, loving you, showing you that like they are actually serious about you. And I feel like you could even take like up to 6 months to like test them, because it feels like you're meeting them mid-year and then you're in this like dynamic with this person before really making it a commitment, because it feels like the commitment would be like end of the year. So you could even take up to 6 months to really like test the waters, test if they really like you, all these things. And I think they do, and I think they will constantly show you over and over again that they do care about you. And I think by the end of the year, you could be in a committed relationship with this person. But I'm really hearing it all started because you went somewhere or you did something. I feel like the power of meeting this person is in your hands. And that's how you came into each other's lives. And I think Spirit is making me repeat that so many times, because it almost feels like if you don't do something, or if you don't go somewhere, if you don't take that leap of faith, take a risk, you probably wouldn't meet them. Like, it's very tied in to something that you have to do. Oh my God, look at that. As soon as I shuffled this, it says within the next few months. This is your advice, by the way. That kind of makes sense, because we were already saying like you're going into the new year in this more independent, I'm going to conquer my goals kind of an energy. And then mid-year is like where you kind of have a little bit more fun. So that is within the next few months. So yeah, I definitely think somebody is coming in within the next few months. And for those of you, if you have somebody that you're like trying to walk away from, or it's not working, I think you are encouraged to leave them early on in the year. We have opportunity. You could meet this person through work, because I don't know if I said that, but the Six of Pentacles does feel like work. We have opportunity with like a windfall. So things are definitely working out for you this year. Aw, no need to worry. Everything is taken care of. Oops. Feels like not the right time. What I was about to say is this goes really well with the time frame they gave you of within the next few months. It feels like you have to do something now, or get started on something now. Get your schedule ready, get your foundation ready, get your stability ready, like doing something for yourself in the first few months of the year, and then somebody comes in the second half of the year. So that like makes a lot of sense. Okay. All right, that is where I'm leaving this off for YouTube. We have a lot of cards on my table. Now, in the extended, we're going to be looking at a little bit more information about who this person is. So I will try to get as much details that Spirit wants to give us, such as like age, appearance, personality, what they do for their job, etc. Now, you can use this as a confirmation if you maybe already have an idea who this person could be. But if not, you know, it's just like more information on them, because we kind of got a timeline, but we didn't really get much about them. And then we're going to see, are there any important signs or events about this connection to look forward to that can, you know, kind of give you like a milestone, like a, oh, not a milestone, what is it? A mile marker. And then we'll also see what is your long-term compatibility with this person, and we will get a message directly from this person. So that's what we're doing in the extended. I just saw 444 on the time. So if this is where I'm leaving you, thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for all of your support here on YouTube. I hope you were able to take away from this. I really try to incorporate as many messages for as many different scenarios as possible. But it is a general reading, you guys. So if you have a specific person or a specific situation you are dealing with and you want, you know, specific answers for your scenario, email me. We can go ahead and book a one-on-one reading. I do live readings over Zoom, and I also do pre-recorded readings. So if you're interested, my email is in the description below. Go ahead and email me. The extended is also in the description below. You can purchase it as a one-time purchase, or you can subscribe to the tier on Patreon that has the extended. So definitely like read the tiers to see what includes what, because there's 2 different tiers now. And then on Patreon, you also get access to exclusive content. There's up to 4 readings a month, plus extendeds on the second tier. So there's a lot going on. So you can check it out as a subscription. You can check it out as a one-time purchase. You don't even have to check it out at all. I mean, honestly, I'm so happy to just be here and to talk to you and to share this information with you. So thank you so much. Take good care of yourself, you guys, and I'll talk to you very soon. Bye. Hey, guys. If you chose this Ace of Wands with the Real Talk Tarot and this green, like dark green obsidian, this is your group. Hello, group number 3. Thank you guys so much for being here. If I sound a little like down in the dumps in my voice, I'm kind of like losing my voice. So I hope it doesn't sound too crazy, but I sound kind of raspy. At least like to me when I'm listening to it, I sound raspy like in my ears, but I'm sure I sound different. I don't know, but if I do sound raspy, I apologize, you guys. Just talking a lot, but I need to get stuff done. We gotta go. Here we are, group 3. Let's go through your breakdown. So this is all about your love life in 2026, and like I mentioned earlier, we do have this extended, but we will talk about this at like the end of our reading. So here on YouTube, we're going to look at your overall theme in love in 2026. We're going to break it down into 3 categories after that. If you're single with no person, we're going to see what's your energy. We'll also look at the energy this year if you're single with a person and or if you're in a relationship. So feel free to watch all of them or just pick and choose one of them. Now, after that, we're going to look at your love life in 2026 as a timeline. And then we're going to get advice. So this is pretty much the breakdown for our YouTube video. And you guys, I just literally like buckle in, get ready, get comfy. Group 1 was like 45 minutes on YouTube and like 15 minutes in extended. Group 2 was literally like 40 minutes YouTube and then another like 10 to 15 minutes extended. So my voice is gone, but we're gonna get this done. So literally get comfy because we're gonna be here a while. And I'm really excited about that. I wanted to do this deep dive for your 2026 love life reading. So yeah, hit that like button. You know, I'm losing my voice over here, but hit that like button. So let's get right into it. I think I am super excited. I don't know why I said I think. I'm super excited for this group, and I think this is going to be a fun reading. That's what I meant to say. Because even when I saw this Ace of Wands in the intro, I was like, there's like a spark here. Like there's something fun with group 3. And originally, I was so drawn to this group because it just felt so fun that I was like, no, like let me go in order. Because sometimes I jump around, but I didn't feel like jumping around today. I felt like the energies were calling me to go in a specific order. So I did go in the chronological order, but I'm like so excited to be here. You know, I just feel like you are going to have a really fun year, group 3. Like love is going to be fun. You're going to be flirty, you're going to be mingling, you're going to be getting out of your comfort zone, you're getting to know people, but there's just like some spark in your love life. So, you know, we'll see like what the energy is, but so far it just feels like fun, and it literally just feels like that excitement has been lit, that light has been lit, the flame has been lit, I should say, within your love life for this year. And for some of you, it feels like a long time coming, like you've been waiting for something to progress in your love life for a while, like you've been kind of just doing your own thing, kind of like you're already healed, doing your own thing, and just like waiting, you know, like, okay, when is someone gonna come into my life? But, or it's like, if you already met somebody, you know, I do think there is like sparks and excitement within that connection. Or if you're in a relationship already, it's like there's like some newfound excitement that is coming your way. So we will see what the energies say, but just right away, and even during the intro when I saw all of the cards, I just felt like there is a fire in group 3's energy. In group 3's belly, there is a fire today. And it's also really pretty because it matches my aesthetic, like this. This kind of looks like my hand, doesn't it? Like a brown hand. There's like pink aesthetics. I was very drawn to it. So let's get into it, you guys. I'm gonna move this like up there. Now we're gonna get started with your current energy, but this is also the energy of the overall theme in your love life in 2026. So, you know, it's kind of your current energy, kind of what you can expect in 2026, but it is your energy check. So if you feel like this does not resonate with you, then definitely check out a different group. But if you feel like this does resonate with you, then stick around and we will get into the rest of the reading here today. So we have Taurus. Wow, that's already making me think of Venus. And that might be taking a leap of faith, but not a leap of faith. What is it? Taking a leap too far. But Venus does rule Taurus. So I'm just immediately, my mind, there's just love here. Like I can't deny it. There is love. There's something happening for group 3. So we have Taurus. Ooh, the hare and oak with new opportunities and the number 3. Oh, that's fun. Oh my gosh, this is what I'm saying. Confidence is your key to success. New moon in Leo. So we have Taurus, we have Leo, specifically moon in Leo. Embrace uncertainty. Okay, love it. Yeah, for now, let me actually pull these down a little bit. And then we have the 8 of Pentacles with the number 71. Okay, I really like this energy. It feels like you are already pretty independent, group 3. And and the Empress is number 3, and this is number 3. So yeah, 3s could definitely be significant. And Empress is Venus, which is Taurus and Libra. So yeah, lots of Venusian, is that how you say it? Venusian energy, and lots of Empress energy, divine feminine energy here for group 3. It feels like you are already independent and self-sufficient, and you probably have been leading up to 2026. So I see that here with that 8 of Pentacles, that energy is continuing. I do think you are continuing to take care of yourself, sustain yourself, remain independent in that sense. Some of you could have kids, and it does feel like if you do have kids, or like if you take care of somebody, your finances do look better in 2026, or like you will find stability. I know this is a love reading, but that is just coming up. Like you will find stability, or you will be able to build that foundation. And it just feels like financially things will be easier for you this year than they were last year. Because it kind of feels like last year you were planting the seeds, waiting for things to take off, waiting for opportunities or something like that. But now in 2026, I think in your life in general, you already have something to stand on. You already have something to show forth. You already have like something going that you worked on previously or that you started previously. So take that however that may resonate with you. Now, I do feel like with this, Ace of Wands here and that like spark and that excitement, it does feel like there really is this energy of you being extroverted this year, coming out of your comfort zone. Even this, it says confidence is your key to success. That Leo energy, that outgoing, extroverted, confident, talkative, that energy of really putting yourself out there and being the main character, and that energy of like, I'm gonna have fun, I'm gonna go and get what I want to get. And I think that's like your mindset, especially in love. It could be your mindset in all aspects of life in 2026, but definitely in love. If you were kind of like closed off to love, or if you were kind of like scared and like kind of in a comfort zone in 2025, I think you're really like breaking out of that comfort zone in 2026. You're like, here I am, I'm single, or I'm ready to mingle, or I'm just ready to have fun. Like there's this very like fun, flirty, and like you have life again. I don't know why it's coming through like that. Like there is like this newfound life, there is this newfound energy, this new flame that has been lit in your belly. And I think that for a while you were not feeling that, or like you were not as excited, or you weren't as ready, or something could have been holding you back. Especially for some of you, if like finances and like home security and job security, if that was all kind of up in the air, it does feel like because that is improving, now your freedom is improving. So now you have more flexibility, you have more time to go out, maybe you have more money to spend on yourself or on having a good time somewhere. So there's like play, like it's coming through as like more play. I think you're still working, but it's like maybe a good combination of like work hard, play hard, but I'm getting a lot of play hard. Like that is the energy that's really coming through. For some of you in this year, you could even be trying something new when it comes to relationships, companionships, maybe even like sexually. You might be trying something new this year, or experimenting, or kind of just like getting a taste of everything. And it just feels like you're really not hiding who you are this year. Again, with Leo, that is like you are front and center, and this is you, this is who you truly are, and there's no hiding, there's no being in the shadows anymore. And also for some of you, if you were a little bit like, if you were living inauthentically to who you really are, or what your true desires are, it feels like in 2026 you're not hiding your desires, you're not trying to be somebody you're not. It's really like your attitude is like, this is me, take it or leave it. And I love that, because for some of you, especially like if you're part of the LGBTQ plus community, like if you could not identify as what you wanted or do what you wanted to do in the previous months or years, it does feel like this year it's like you taking your power back. And that's an example, right? Like, I mean, so many people could fall into that category of like, I had to hide who I really am, but I'm not doing that anymore. I'm taking my power back and I'm doing what I want to do. And it also feels like this year, maybe because you have some security and stability, I don't know where the stability is coming from. It definitely, I mean, it looks like finances and career, but there could be other aspects of your life that is just providing you more security. And because of that, you have that freedom, right? So with this embrace uncertainty and even this new opportunities, originally this made me think of the Three of Wands, which is all about expansion. We're starting something new. It could be a new milestone, but we're really taking that leap of faith, and there's a lot of excitement. And this is Aries energy, if I was reading this as the Three of Wands, and that's all about like me putting myself out there, me bettering myself, and me really like tackling what I want to do head on. So it's like there's some stability in your life, and because of that, you're able to be a little bit more go with the flow. Even this makes me think of traveling and new opportunities in the sense of like diversifying your portfolio. I don't know why it's coming through like that, but like, yeah, traveling, going to new places. It's like you don't have to be so set in stone. So I think that flexibility, like it like it's kind of a part of everything. So maybe now you don't have to live in one place, maybe you can move somewhere else, maybe you can travel for a couple months. And again, another example is like, say if you work remotely now, or like something about your job is remote, so then you have more flexibility to travel or to put yourself out there or to embrace this uncertainty that comes with it, because there's something about like some aspect of your life is changing for the better or like stabilizing for the better, so then you're able to be a bit more spontaneous. I think that's what I'm trying to say with this embrace uncertainty, because it's like you're not like planning a whole bunch of things, you know. I think that you're excited, you're in a good vibe, and you're like, I'm just gonna go, and I'm gonna get what I want to get, and I'm just gonna embrace the uncertainty. I'm going to embrace not having control over the situation. I'm just going to travel. Or it's like you're just being very spontaneous with something. You're being very, you're not really like thinking too much about something. And obviously, you know, be responsible. And I think it is coming through in a responsible manner. But there's just fun in your life, especially in your love life. But I think this will transcend to all aspects of your life in 2026. There's more independence. There's more freedom. There's more fun, because you're not set in stone. Even this feels like your energy, you know, again, we'll see the breakdowns of the relationships, but it feels like for a lot of you, you might not even be looking for a serious relationship, or maybe you're open to a serious relationship, but you're kind of just dating, and you're allowing yourself to date more people this year. You're allowing yourself to like come out of that comfort zone a little bit more this year. So it just feels like fun and flirty, and I'm going to put myself out there, and I'm not going to like shy away from being who I truly want to be this year, especially in love, relationships, and connections, and even physical connections this year. Okay, there is a message for some of you. You might actually meet somebody. So again, we'll go into that breakdown soon, but there is this like embracing uncertainty with a person this year. Especially if like it's so funny because it's coming through as like you feel like this person might ruin, quote unquote, ruin your plans, or like ruin or like take away your freedom, like this newfound freedom that you have. Or it's like for some reason you think that like if you were to give somebody a chance this year, you're anxious because you're like, okay, it might take away from all the hard work I've done, or from the success I'm receiving, or from the freedom that I have. But Spirit is saying it's not going to take away from that. And there's something here about embracing uncertainty with a specific person in 2026, because something is unconventional. So, okay, right? Like what is conventional? So if like the ideal relationship is like you're in the same place, you get to see each other on a regular basis, you go on dates regularly, you spend time with each other regularly, you talk and communicate regularly. So then if that's conventional, then unconventional, I'm putting quotes on all of this because what even is conventional and unconventional, right? But I'm just going by like societal views. So then this unconventional relationship would be like, say if you met somebody and then you're long distance, right? Or you met somebody at like an airport or like a bus stop. I don't know why like a bus or a train station is like coming to mind as well, but like you meet somebody in like some place that's temporary, but then you both part ways, but like you stay in contact. Or like you get to know somebody and then somebody moves, or like somebody has to go away for work, or like something happens, right? And then it becomes unconventional because then you're not regularly hanging out, you're not going on regular dates, you're not able to see each other all the time. Maybe you just have to talk on the phone. Maybe it's a long distance relationship. So there's something here on like you meet somebody this year and Spirit wants you to give this person a chance, even if it feels unconventional. Because I think at first you would be nervous, but you're like, wait a second, like, you know, like they live somewhere else, I live somewhere else. Like this doesn't seem practical. How would this work? And they're saying, just embrace it. You know, like don't think so much about it. Because you overthinking something could actually like ruin the situation that Spirit has for you right now, and they want you to like really embrace something. And they're saying just because something is not what you would think is like a normal relationship, or just because it's like different than the stability that you think a relationship needs, doesn't mean it's a bad relationship, and doesn't mean that it's not for you. Like there's something here that this is a different type of a relationship, and they still want you to go with it, and they still want you to embrace it and like take a leap of faith on that. It does feel like with this Taurus energy here, I feel like your logic and like your logic and that impulsiveness could kind of clash from time to time, because with Taurus, I mean, they're very like repetitive. They're very like by the book. They have rules, they have plans, they have a schedule. Like Taurus and just earth signs in general, they take things seriously and they don't do things impulsively. They have to plant seeds and go one step at a time. And I think that's how you could be. So I think when something comes up that's a little bit different than like what your schedule is or what your original plans were or what you thought you would be a part of, it's like it might kind of clash within you for a second, and you might get nervous about it because you're not used to something like that. But I think Spirit is essentially saying to you to embrace it, and that this could be something so much bigger, you know, as it goes on. Sorry, that's me going like that. Let's see. Is that everything that I see here? I think so. I think this year, for a lot of you, this year is all about like your independence and your confidence. So I think for some of you, if somebody does come in, it almost makes you nervous because you're like, I don't know if I want to give up my freedom. I don't know if I want to give up my independence. But I think like you are really all about you this year, and I think you're just looking to have fun. And I do think one of these fun connections could definitely turn into something more, or like somebody catches you off guard. But I think that's like the vibe for 2026 for group 3. So I like this a lot. It feels like it's like fun and flirty and spontaneous, but also responsible because you're still working, you're still getting your stuff done. You're not just like abandoning everything in life, but it's like fun and responsible at the same time. So it's a nice combination. Okay, so that's kind of what I'm seeing for the overall energies, and now we will get into more specifics. So let's look at, zodiac signs. So Taurus, Leo, and then 8 of Pentacles. This is Virgo energy, and this is specifically Sun in Virgo. So somebody could have like a Sun in Virgo. Oh, a Sun in Earth, because we were talking about Taurus. So Sun in Taurus, Virgo, or Capricorn, and then Moon in Leo, or like Sun in Earth, Moon and Fire, something like that could be significant. The number 3, because we saw this, I mean, your group 3, and then I thought of this as the 3 of Wands, and I also thought about the Empress because of Venus. Okay, so I'm hearing Spirit say you'll never know if you never try. But I do think fire signs could be significant because we even have that Ace of Wands here. So Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, and we already talked about Aries and Leo. But yeah, Aries, Leo, or Sagittarius could be significant. Okay, so now let's go ahead and look at the little breakdowns. So first, if you're single with no person on your mind, let's get your energy for your love life in 2026. For those who are single and don't have a person in mind, what is their love life? What is the energy of their love life this year? For those who are single and do not have a person on their mind. 6 of Wands. Let me get one more. Those who are single and don't have a person on their mind. Wow, and then the Chariot. We have 6 of Cups bottom of the deck. Okay, I will leave timestamps in the description if you want to skip around, but feel free to listen to all of them. So we have the Six of Wands and then we have the Chariot. So this is Leo, this is Cancer energy, and this is Scorpio energy here with that Six of Cups. But immediately I'm feeling like if you're single and you don't have a person in your mind, somebody is coming in. I mean, and they're coming in hot. And it does feel like this person could have some kind of a status. They could literally be a Leo, like a Leo sun. The Six of Wands is specifically Jupiter in Leo. So yeah, they could have some kind of a status, reputation. They could literally be like famous or have some kind of a following to some extent, or they could be like high up in their company, or just like they have a lot of eyes on them. They're very popular. And with Jupiter and Leo, there is so much expansion within their potential. So it also feels like this person, they're probably kind of young, or like a little bit, not like young, but you know, like they have a lot of potential in what they're doing in life, and it feels like they have not even hit like their maximum potential within their career or within like their purpose here on earth, because Jupiter is expansive and Leo is all about status and fame and recognition. So it's like they have so much untapped potential, but they definitely have a lot of eyes on them. And yeah, it feels like there is a lot of forward movement. This is happening very quickly because this is a very fast energy. And then even the Chariot, I mean, the Chariot is a very fast forward moving energy. And we have the number 6 and 7, so it's like ascending numbers. So it does feel like if you do not have a person on your mind, you are meeting somebody very soon going into 2026. And you almost might even be intimidated by them a little bit, which is maybe that's another reason you're kind of like doubting it. You're like, if they're famous or if they have a lot of admirers, or if, you know what I mean? You're like, especially if you're like not living in the same place or they travel a lot, I could definitely see you being intimidated by them to some extent. But it's interesting because I wanted to keep this here because with the Six of Cups here, you're going to have an instant recognition. Like you're going to instantly recognize this person, but you've never met them before in this lifetime. But it's like you've had some kind of a previous lifetime with them. And that's why I wanted to keep this here, because the Six of Cups talks about the past, talks about, you know, it could talk about your childhood, but talks about the past or your past lives. And even with Scorpio energy, Scorpio is all about like death and rebirth and previous lifetimes and future lifetimes and all of this like subconscious energy. So you could feel very intimidated by this person, but you're gonna be like, but I know you, like I know you from somewhere, or like there's such familiarity with your energy. Like I'm intimidated by you, but I feel like we're already best friends, or like I've known you and we used to be best friends, or we used to be in a connection in a previous lifetime. Like there's something like that going on. And I think that is something that keeps you like holding on to the connection, because I think if you did not have that recognition with them, is that the right word? If you didn't have the familiarity with them, you almost might have even just like not taken it seriously and walked away. But I think because you feel familiar, or they feel familiar to you, you kind of test out the waters a little bit. So maybe for this group, there is some like past life soulmate situation going on. But yeah, I think if you're single and you don't have a person, it's happening quick. It's happening fast. And it is coming to you. I think this person is somehow coming to you. They're like meeting you halfway, or they are somehow making their way to where you are, which is so interesting. So I also think you could have your own success this year. Or you are gaining success, you're gaining momentum on what you already built. So you're also expanding in 2026 as well. So maybe you like meet each other through some mutual, I don't know, mutual status thing. I don't know what people do when they have status or followers or whatever. Like you could meet them through something like that. but I think you as well are expanding a lot. Okay, so for those of you who are single but you have a person in mind, let's see, what is the energy in love for those who are single but have someone in mind? For those who are single but have somebody in mind, we have the Tower. For those who are single but have somebody in mind, what is their energy in their love life? For those who are single but have somebody in mind. Taking a while. Maybe they don't want to clarify the Tower. Can we clarify this Tower? Okay. We have the Tower and we have the Page of Pentacles. For those of you who are single, but you have somebody on your mind, there is going to be a sudden change within that connection. I am viewing this in a positive way because so far there has not been a single inkling of anything negative for group 3. So even though it's kind of dark and scary in this image, it just feels like a sudden change. Like you were not expecting the change. It happens quick, it happens fast, and it just like it happens. It's like lightning speed. Something changes within this dynamic if you have somebody in mind, and it feels positive because then we have the Page of Pentacles, you know, so it feels like, and we even had the Emperor that came out that I put at the bottom of the deck. So it feels like there is going to be movement within this connection with the person you have on your mind. It even says manifestation, development. So it just feels like something just happens in a way that you were not expecting, or things manifest or change either faster than you thought in a way that you weren't expecting, and like something just happened. I don't know, right? Like it just massive change happening very, very quickly. And it's like shocking, or it's like, whoa, it like catches you off guard, or it makes you kind of nervous. You're like, oh my God. But it feels like very positive. It just feels like, you know, when you're not like looking for something or paying attention to something and it kind of just like, pops up. What is a better example for me to give you? Ooh, this could even be signs and synchronicities, because we were talking about it says manifestation in this card, right? And the Page of Pentacles is like some kind of an offer, or like it's something physical, it's something tangible, whether it's you like doing something tangible or something tangibly is being given to you or being shown to you. There could be a lot of like sudden changes within the energies of you and this person, but it feels positive, and it feels like you could see a lot of signs and synchronicities because of this connection. Like something is picking up speed. Something's picking up momentum in 2026 with the person that's on your mind, and you're seeing signs and synchronicities, and you're like noticing things, and like things are just shifting really quick and changes are happening really fast, but it's all very positive, and it's like it's leading to something much bigger. And it almost feels like you can't deny it, because with the Tower, it's this energy of like sudden change to where you cannot dismiss it. You know, you can't deny it. You can't like pretend it didn't happen. So it feels like the signs and synchronicities that you are receiving in regards to this connection, or the actual physical changes that happen, you cannot dismiss it. It will become very loud and very obvious to you that something is happening. For example, if you haven't talked to this person, say in like a couple months or even like years or something, then you're going to see a lot of signs and synchronicities leading up to maybe when they reach out to you, or maybe when you run into them in person. There's like things are just very loud, and it's like spirit is like showing you the same things over and over again until the union actually happens somehow. That's what I mean. It feels very positive, but it feels like you can't deny it. Something is happening. So that's great, because that also feels very positive. And then let's look at the energy for those of you who are in a relationship. So for group 3, those who are already in a relationship, what is the energy of their love life for those who are already in a relationship? Okay. Your current partner could be helping you heal through something that hurt you, or there could have been something sad that happened in your life recently or in like the previous year, or something sad that might happen this year. And it doesn't have to be like sad, but it's like something that, you know, with the 5 of Cups, it's something that's like kind of sad or overwhelming. And I love that the 6 of Pentacles is here, because it's showing you that your partner this year is really going to help you overcome some challenge. And here's the thing, this doesn't even have to be bad. You know, when we talk about a loss or sadness or heartbreak or being overwhelmed, we think worst case scenario, but this could even be something as simple as like what we were talking about earlier. So hypothetically, say you're in a relationship this year and it becomes a long distance connection, or you're already in a long distance relationship and that's something that makes you upset, right? Like, it's not the end of the world, not like something bad happened, but you miss this person, you can't be with them every day, so it makes you upset. You know, so the sadness could be something as like little as that, even though that's not little, but it's like, it doesn't have to be a crazy sad, crazy thing that happens, right? But it feels like they're going to help you through that. So in that scenario, when you're upset about the long distance, they are reassuring you, they are giving you proof, they're maybe sending you gifts, sending you messages and calls, and still like giving into this connection in a physical, tangible, loving manner to help you feel stronger and more secure in the fact that it is a long distance relationship. You know what I mean? So it feels like whoever your partner is this year that you are in a relationship with, they are so great. I mean, they're so loving, they're so generous. The 6 of Pentacles is all about giving and generosity and taking care of somebody else, providing for somebody else, whether that's emotionally, mentally, physically, spiritually, but definitely like physically. You know, they could be providing you with money or like taking care of you in some way, taking care of some hardship that comes up in your life. But, you know, if it is like an emotional thing, then it's like they're really reassuring to you that everything is going to be okay. So yeah, you know, no matter what, if there's ever a moment that you're upset about something, I think you should talk to them about it, because I think this person actually wants to help you and wants to be there for you and wants to see you do better. I feel like they don't ever want to see you upset. So I love that. That is so sweet. I will say all 3 of these so far have been really sweet, and really cool. So that is what I am sensing. I hope that was accurate. If that doesn't resonate, whoa, the way I just laid that out, I didn't even realize that, but it was 5, 6, 7. And we were talking about ascending numbers. I'm going to leave it like that because that's really cool, actually. Okay, if that doesn't resonate, definitely check out a different group. But now we're going to go into the deck you guys chose. Now we're going to go in with the deck you chose. And we're going to look at your love life in 2026 in a timeline form. So, you know, I'm just going to like pull a line of cards, and time is not set in stone, right? So I'm not going to like say this is exactly this time and like all of these things. So I'm just going to do it like earlier on in the year, middle of the year, and then the end of the year. That way it's flexible and you can interpret it however, and it can kind of play out however it wants to, but pretty much just your love life in 2026 with a rough timeline. So let's get right into it. Group 3's love life in 2026 in a rough timeline, Spirit. Let's see what is happening for Group 3's love life in 2026. Okay, I'll take both. Oh my gosh! Wow, that came out immediately. 4 of Pentacles, 10 of Cups. There is like some level of hesitation with you right away, and I think I kind of said that earlier too, like you're a little intimidated or you're nervous about letting this person in. It does feel like for a lot of you, you meet this person like right away. Now, if you already know this person, or maybe you're like talking to this person, it's possible you get into a relationship like very early on in the year with that 10 of Cups. Like, this is making me think of commitment. This is also feeling like introducing each other to family, to each other's friends, like really being involved with each other's circle. But it does feel like with the Four of Pentacles here, and this being a safe and the guard dogs, like it feels like you're definitely guarded at first in regards to this connection. Whether you know this person, whether you don't, it's like you're intimidated and you don't know if you want to like trust this person right away. But it does feel like you probably meet this person very early on going into 2026. And it feels like you also fall for each other very quickly, because you go from hesitation to 10 of Cups like very fast, maybe in the span of like a month or two. So I think both of you fall for each other very quickly. And like, even with that Chariot here, this connection from the moment you meet this person to like the moment you kind of start to make things maybe a little bit official, it's like it's moving rapidly, like it's moving fast. And I think that is also part of the uncertainty that Spirit wants you to embrace, is things moving so quickly with somebody. If you're already with somebody, then it's possible this could be, you know, just kind of like a higher level of commitment with somebody this year. But it does feel like things are moving quickly from the moment you meet each other, or from the start of the year to 10 of Cups. Literally, there's a rainbow. It's like friends around a campfire. That's like the couple there. So this is like meeting each other's friends, each other's family, or even just, you know, it doesn't have to be that, but just 10 of Cups is definitely like commitment and a lot of happiness, and it's happening very quickly. All right then, group 3's group 3's love life in 2026. Group 3's love life in 2026. The energy of group 3's love life. It says Wheel of Fortune. So, okay, it says like, oh, it kind of looks like the Wheel of Fortune. There's a bunch of words on it. This also reminded me of a beach ball the moment I saw it. Group 3's love life in 2026. Ooh, the Emperor eating a burger. Burger King could be significant. We have the Tower. Again, actually, that's the second time we're seeing the Tower. Let's clarify the Tower. Oh, the King of Cups is at the bottom of the deck. Oh, the way these cards came out. Hold on. Is you have the 7 of Cups, which is a cafe, like somebody's ordering at a cafe, and then the King of Cups is drinking something probably from the cafe, because it's like sipping on a drink. So it's interesting the way those came out like that. Okay. So yeah, I think that somebody is entering your life very early on in the year, and I think things are moving very quickly between the two of you. There's a lot of like fun, there's a lot of infatuation. I think you're just really like spending a lot of time with each other, or you're talking a lot. You know, I think things do escalate very, very quickly in the first like few months of the year, I would say. And then we have the Wheel of Fortune, and then we also have the Emperor. It's interesting, it says vacation. Oh, it says vacation, free spin, food. It has like a bunch of random things. It says love on this one. Smiley face, car. There does seem to be a level of like freedom by the time you go into the middle of the year with this person. And with the Wheel of Fortune here, it's kind of hard to like say exactly what it is, because the Wheel of Fortune talks about, you know, destiny, divine timing, divine intervention. So it does feel like something about this connection is escalating during that mid-year as well. But it's like they don't want to tell me exactly what it is, because there's like so many options on this. It's like something about this could go either way, but it does feel like your things are escalating very quickly. And then with the Wheel of Fortune and then the Emperor in that mid-year time frame, with the Emperor there is some level of stability. And I'll come back to that Wheel of Fortune in a second. What I originally thought when I saw the Tower is like this person is like balancing, but the Tower is kind of like flimsy, but they're still able to balance. And with the Emperor, which is all about stability and independence and sturdiness and that foundation, it just made me think that you guys are balancing something, even though it's like this unconventional situation. Like you're balancing something, or you are confident in something, you're making something work, you're making something last, you're like putting the time and effort into something, and you're like finding stability in a situation where it's not that perfect tower or that perfect foundation moment. And I think that again goes back to that unconventional aspect of some relationship. Like you're balancing and you're making the best of the situation, even if it's not a straight tower. So again, you know, you're balancing, making it work, hypothetically, even if it's a long distance relationship. It's like you found comfort in your working to bring stability and to build this foundation, even if that tower is shaky. And I feel like that tower being shaky, it's not talking about that the relationship is not good, or that the relationship is shaky, or that the foundation is shaky. I think it's this idea of like, yeah, it just feels like balancing. It just feels like something is not, like something is a little haywire. Is that the right word? Like something's a little off balance, but that doesn't mean it's a bad thing or it's a bad situation or a bad relationship, because we have the Emperor. Like this feels like comfort, you know, comfortable, I'm content, I'm at peace, I feel good about this situation, even if it's something that's a little flip-floppy. And I think that is you guys making the best of some kind of an unconventional situation in the time being, but feeling confident and feeling good about it. I think that's the best way I can describe the energy that I'm feeling from that. So it still feels good, and both of these are major arcana. Even this is a major arcana. This could even talk about like the universe kind of throwing you guys a curveball, but not in a bad way, but something again that goes into something unconventional, because we're talking about things escalating very quickly. And then say somebody has to go away for a couple months for work, you know, or it's like something happens and like there's distance all of a sudden for a couple of months, but you're still making the best of the situation because your foundation with this person is not shaking. Maybe the physical aspect, like you're home, or you're here, there, somewhere else, like the physical aspect of it could change, and there is some changes happening that you cannot control, but the foundation of the situation, of how you feel about each other, is not changing. The way you treat each other is not changing. The way you communicate with each other is not changing, because that's where the stability comes in with the Emperor. Does that make sense? So there could be like a challenging aspect to this connection, maybe like mid-year, like maybe like April, May time frame to like August, September time frame, because it feels like by the end of the year things are okay again. And with this being the King of Cups as well, there's a lot of love. You know, this could be the King or Queen of Cups. There's a lot of love and a lot of peace by the time the end of the year turns, or the end of the year rolls around, because it's like you overcame some level of like instability, or not instability. Oh my God, I can't speak. Some level of instability within the connection, because the universe kind of threw you something, but you balanced, you stayed on top of it, you made it work. And then here we are, like at peace. The fact like it looks like they're on vacation, right? They're wearing matching outfits. Maybe this is a cafe, like on vacation somewhere. And it's like you're finally able to have that downtime with each other or come back together by the end of the year. And there's a lot of love with that King of Cups. And it's like, no matter what happened, that spark and that love and the feelings that you guys felt and developed very early on, like that never went away. And it doesn't go away. It just feels like there's something going on, but Spirit wants you to have like faith and wants you to stay at peace with the uncertainty of something, because it will work out at the end, by the end of the year. This also feels like a vacation, so maybe by the time like they come back from work or you come back for work, or maybe when you're able to like unite again and things are back on like a regular schedule, maybe you spend some time together, go somewhere, you know, do something together, spend alone time together for some time. Because even this is like, there is a feminine energy here, there's a masculine energy here. So it does feel like two coming back together as one by the end. It also feels like if you guys are kind of going your own way to do things, but like still in this relationship, like that's what it feels like. It doesn't feel like you're going to break up. It doesn't feel like there's like, you know, actual separation within the connection. It just feels like a physical separation, or like a physical curveball is being thrown your way. But it also feels like you're both going to be doing your own thing during that curveball. So it's not like you're going to just sit around and wait for this person to come back from work, you know, because if they're gone for a couple months to go work or something, it's like you're not just going to wait. That's what I feel like with this Seven of Cups as well. It's like two people that are doing their own thing, working in their own separate things, like still continuing to live that life and sustain that life that they have for themselves, but still, you know, energetically giving into this connection and lovingly, and, you know, through conversations and through catching up and through like still having that connection there. Does that make sense? And I think like you could be nervous. And for some of you, you could already know this even when you first meet them. And that's why you're a little nervous about falling for this person, because you know that maybe they have to leave, or maybe you both have to go separate ways. So my like analogy of the airport, you know, say you're traveling and you meet this person while you're traveling somewhere, and you have your guard up because you know that you would fall for this person, but you also know that this is a temporary meeting situation and you don't know how far you could actually take it, so you have your walls up. But then things grow quickly, and you realize you're actually very compatible and you want to continue to pursue something with this person, right? But then say the curveball is that maybe you're not able to see each other again in person for a couple of months, right? So you still kind of have this love and you have this relationship going, and you work on it and you capitalize on it and you grow stronger together from it, and then you come back together and you're able to reconnect by the end of the year. That, I should have said that in the very beginning. I was trying to explain everything individually, but that feels like what that timeline looks like. It feels like a good timeline. It feels positive, but it feels challenging, you know? And I think it's not that the universe is testing you, but it is to some extent to see how both of you could handle it. And I think that if both of you could handle a long distance aspect, or like that curveball of the relationship, then you could probably handle a lot of other things that come by in the future too. You know what I mean? So it almost feels like to see if you really are compatible in something long-term with this person. Okay, that is what I am seeing. So let's get some advice, and I will go over the extended after this. So advice for group number 3 in regards to this connection. Trust. This is what I was saying earlier too, is to have faith that, you know, the universe brought you guys together for a reason, or you're still in a relationship, or you're still able to make this work for a reason. We have helpful people. That could be a support system, that could be friends, family. Okay. It says meditation brings answers, and then it also says yes. Okay, group number 3, that's everything for our YouTube portion. So in the extended, we're gonna get a little bit more information about who this person is. Oh, you can't see it. So like age, appearance, personality, just kind of a little bit more about this person that we didn't really get to touch on in this reading. And you could also use this as a confirmation if you know who this person is. But it's like information to have, you know, when you do meet this person, then you can be like, oh, are you the person that I heard about, you know? And then we'll see, are there any important signs or events about this connection to look forward to? We'll see what is your long-term compatibility. We'll also get a message directly from this person. So all of that is going to be in the extended. You can check it out in the description. There is a link to either purchase it as a one-time purchase, or you can subscribe to Patreon. There's 2 tiers on Patreon now. It's on the 2nd tier, and on that tier, you get access to the extended readings and you get access to all of our other Patreon content. So there is a lot going on over there, but make sure you read the tiers if you do plan on subscribing. But you can also just purchase this as a one-time purchase, and that is totally fine too. And if you don't even want to purchase and you want to leave it here, that's totally fine too, you guys. I am so thankful for you being here, for you clicking on this, watching this, sharing your energy with me, for supporting me. And there are more 2026 videos to come, so definitely subscribe so you can stay up to date. And if you want answers to your own love life or to your private situation, definitely go ahead and email me. My email is in the description below. But take good care of yourself, you guys. Have a great rest of your day or night. I will talk to you later, or I'll see you in the extended. Bye. Hey guys. If you chose this Wheel of Fortune with this orange selenite ball and the Gentle Heart Tarot, this is your group. Hello, group number 4. Thank you guys so much for being here. I will set your crystal right there. Thank you so much for being here, you guys. So we're going to start off with our YouTube portion of the reading first, and I will go over the extended at the very end. But here on YouTube, we're going to look at your overall theme in love in 2026. We're going to look at a little breakdown for each of these categories. So if you're single with no person, if you're single with a person on your mind, and if you're in a relationship, we will do a overall energies for all 3 of these mini categories. And then we're going to look at your love life in 2026 in a timeline version. And then we will also get advice. So that is what we're talking about here on YouTube. So thank you so much for clicking this video. Thank you so much for being here. Whether this is your first time here on my channel or if you have been here before, thank you so much for all of your support. And it just really means the world to me. So I'm so excited to get started. One thing I do want to say about this Wheel of Fortune, it feels very peaceful, and it feels very much like this go with the flow energy so far from what I'm sensing with this card, because the Wheel of Fortune talks about fate, destiny, divine timing, divine intervention. Like, it's things that are just happening for us and we're not really in control of it. And I think that is your perspective about love in general. It doesn't have to be just this year. I think you could have been in this mindset for a while now. For some of you, it could be a newer mindset that you have become accustomed to, but it does feel like you're not chasing love. You're not like looking for it, and you're allowing things to flow naturally, and just what's meant to be is going to be. And it's like, I feel like that's your mindset. And because of that, you're really at peace in life, especially within love. Now, this could, talk about all other aspects of your life. Maybe that's kind of how you are in life in general. But I think for specifically in your love life, because you have surrendered and because you're kind of like, whatever's meant for me is going to find me at the right time in the right place, because you have that sense of reassurance and that belief, it does feel like there's a lot of peace in your life. There's a lot of happiness, and just like, there's just no like void that you're trying to fill, or there's nothing that you're chasing. And I just really love that. So I feel like whatever your circumstances are right now in your love life, you're really just going with the flow and you're not trying to control the situation. So I love that. I think so far from what I'm getting from that intro card, it does feel like a very down-to-earth, peaceful energy for group 4. So we're going to get into the cards that I have right here. This is going to be the energy check, but this is also going to show us your overall theme in love in 2026. So if you feel like this really does not resonate with you, you're like, there's no way that's going to be my energy this year, then definitely check out a different group. But if it does resonate with you, then stick around and we will get into the... Okay, so we have Venus. Oh, that makes a lot of sense with what I'm sensing. And look, there's another orange ball, you know, because you were drawn to the orange selenite ball there. And then, okay, so we have Venus. We have more orange circular objects. We have the boar and pumpkin with confidence and the number 18. Ooh, we have your commitment is being tested. Ooh, okay, this could go two ways. I will explain in just a second. Aw, we have day moon with love. That's really sweet. And then we have the 3 of Cups with the number 38. I love that. And look at this. It's like a whole feast is going on. There is this huge platter of food. There's like a cake back there. Like this is giving love, companionship, friendships, celebration, happiness. So I feel like that is also very fitting for the energies that we were just talking about. I do feel like for group 4, you are looking for a much deeper connection with somebody in 2026. Or this could be your love life in general. Like you're kind of done with, you know, hookups and dating culture. You're kind of done with immediate satisfaction. Like you are truly seeking a deep connection with somebody, like a true soulmate, a deep bond, a deep spiritual bond with somebody. So it does feel like you've already kind of like ascended in a sense. Like you're kind of, it feels like the way you view love and dating and relationships, it's kind of like on a little bit on like a higher level than what most of society or what most of society around you views love and relationships as. It just feels like you're in a different wavelength, and maybe that's another reason it's kind of hard for you to find somebody, or for you to truly find like that energy that you are seeking. But I really love this. And okay, I will just go in order. With Venus here, this is literally the divine feminine because this is Empress, you know? So this is also Taurus and Libra energy, but Venus is also the 7th house. So this really feels like your like overall view for love in 2026 is a relationship with somebody. And I do think, you know, well, I don't want to jump ahead of myself, but it does feel like there is some kind of an energy here that will be this type of a relationship for you. And I think overall your mindset is just like, I am looking for commitment. I'm looking for something long term. And especially because I brought up the Empress, you could be looking for a traditional relationship, or at least like something where it's like more than just surface level, more than just a hookup. You know, traditional doesn't have to be this like the white picket fence with the kids and the house and all of that. But I think for a lot of you, you're just looking for a deeper commitment with somebody this year. So I really like that. And it makes sense that that was your perspective going into love, or has been about love, because you're not really settling for less than the energy that you are looking for. So I love this. It feels very positive. And I also love the 3 of Cups because it's showing me again that you're just not chasing love. You know, you are finding happiness in so many other aspects of your life. You know, this could be friendships. This could be just having a good time. You know, even with all this food here, it just feels like celebration. It feels like enjoying the little things in life, like all these little berries that are on this picture. You know, you're just enjoying life, enjoying the little things, and you're just so happy. And even love, you literally have the key word of love. And even this looks like a field just full of happiness and sunshine. And I'm hearing the song, I'm Walking on Sunshine. So I think that your overall energy in 2026, I think you're happy whether you're single or you're not, or if you're in a relationship. For those of you, if you do find yourself in a relationship this year, I think this relationship is making you very, very happy. And especially with that 7th house, I think that this relationship has long-term potential. And for those of you, if you are still single and you haven't found anybody, you know, so far going into 2026, or whenever you find this video, if you're still single, it does feel like you're still so happy. Like you're just so content with life. You're so at peace. I think you're doing what makes you happy on a regular basis. You're living the life you want to live, and you're okay if you haven't found somebody yet. You know, I just saw 444 on the time when I looked up at my monitor. So And it's also great because I feel like whether you're in a relationship or not, you're not placing all of your eggs in one basket. Like, you know that happiness comes from multiple sources, and happiness also has to come from within you. You know, you are filling your own cups. You're finding fulfillment with all the things that you are doing in life. Whether a relationship is a part or isn't a part of it. So I love that energy because you're not chasing, you're very content, you're sitting as the divine feminine, or you could be divine masculine, but you're sitting as a very divinely uh, evolved energy. And you're just like, you know what? If a relationship finds me, that's great. But if not, that's great too. And this is so interesting with your commitment is being tested because I can interpret this in two ways. The first way is for those of you who do find yourself in a relationship in 2026, there is this energy of the universe is seeing if you're going to, I'm hearing like freak out, or if you're going to like get anxious, or if you're going to find yourself overwhelmed or overthinking, or maybe repeating previous patterns that you have tried to let go of in previous relationships. And because that's something I say to people a lot actually in my private sessions is like we can be single, right? Like we can be on our own and we can heal 99% of ourselves by ourselves, but we can't really heal a lot of relationship wounds or relationship things when we're single, right? Because we're not being triggered. There's not a partner here that is triggering us, that is bringing up things to the surface. But the moment we find ourselves, even as 99% healed, the moment we find ourselves in a new relationship, we might be triggered again because now we have a person that we haven't had, you know, and now they're bringing up little things from previous relationships. And the person you are when you are with somebody versus the person you are by yourself, it's two different people. And there's two different things to heal, you know? So a lot of healing actually happens within your next relationships because, you know, you need somebody there to help you heal through relationship things to a certain extent. And I do think for some of you, if you do find yourself in a relationship this year, there could be things that you are not fully healed from. And it might feel like you're fully healed when you are single and by yourself and not being triggered, but it does feel like the universe is seeing how will you be able to heal yourself within a partnership, heal the wounds and the triggers that come up from previous situations. You know, how are you going to confront them? How are you going to heal? How are you going to learn from them? And how are you going to really close up these open wounds that you might have? So it does feel like for some of you, the universe is not like testing you, but they're almost seeing like, have you healed? Or will you repeat certain patterns again, even if you are evolved in other ways? Because, you know, we're human and that's just how it is. Healing, there's so many different types of healings and not all of it is done on our own. Sometimes we need a person in order for us to, for a trigger to come up, in order for us to realize, oh, I still have to work on that. So I think it's not necessarily like if you are going to be triggered, if an unhealed wound is going to open up, because it probably will to some extent, but I think they're saying, how are you going to navigate it? Because I think a previous version of yourself, the one that is not as healed as you are today, maybe would have navigated it a little bit differently. You know, maybe they would have, yeah, just, you know, I don't want to say anything specific, but would have just navigated it a bit differently versus the you who is healed and is evolved into a divine energy. How are you going to navigate it this time around? And I think they're almost just seeing the proof of how have you actually healed these wounds, or will you heal these wounds when they do come up? So it's not like the universe is like testing you in a bad way, but I do think they're almost seeing like, are you truly evolved, or have you truly gained wisdom and the knowledge and the understanding of how to navigate certain obstacles or certain situations, or will you fall back into previous patterns? That's pretty much what this like testing energy is. And then for those of you who are single, and maybe if you do remain single through 2026, or at least for, you know, sometime in 2026, it really feels like they're testing, quote unquote, you in the sense of, will you stay patient? Because clearly, I mean, you want a love, right? Like you want a very specific type of a relationship. You want to be loved and find a certain type of partner I can see that. So they're almost saying to you, like, will you be able to stay patient for the right person to come around, or will you, not like fall into not fall into previous patterns, maybe for some of you, but it's almost like, will you stay patient? Can you wait it out? Or will you seek temporary satisfaction? There's something like that, because I think whatever this testing is, it's the universe just seeing how evolved you really are from something that happened in the past, or just from the previous year to your current energy. It's not like a negative testing, it's not like a bad thing. They're just kind of seeing, okay, is group 4 really ready for this soulmate to come in? Is group 4 really healed? How are they going to navigate certain situations, and how are they going to fold under pressure? I think that's kind of it, because that is how you prove to yourself, but also prove to the universe, the higher power, God, whatever you believe in. That's how you prove to everything, you and them, that you are healed. Because when you fall back into previous patterns, or you know then you're kind of realizing, oh, maybe I'm not as healed as I thought I was. But when you do solve some kind of a situation, and you do overcome it, and you're not reacting to it the way the old you would react to it, then you're proving to yourself, you know what, I did it. Like, I have changed, I have evolved, and I am a different person than who I used to be. So it's almost just like proving to yourself, but also kind of proving to the universe that you are healed, and you are like moving on the right path. I think that's essentially what they're saying. But yeah, I think a lot of you are. I think you're doing really well. But we're human at the end of the day, so I think they just want to make sure you navigate situations, in the way that doesn't put you backwards, I guess, is how I can say that. I love this boar. It just looks so cute to me. And it just, I love the word confidence here, because it does feel like there's happiness within you, there's fulfillment, but there's also this confidence. I think you really are emerging as, like, I'm seeing like a star. Like, I'm seeing a star that is finally shining bright after a time of being dim, and it just feels like you're finally happy, you're finally putting yourself out there, or you're finally just confident within your own skin as who you are as a person. And I think that really also is like showing to the universe that you have healed. I feel like this group is very like tied into the universe somehow, and I think very tied into energies. You could be very psychically gifted yourself, and it just feels like the universe and you are like this, and everything is just very intertwined. And I think as you evolve spiritually, you're going to realize that more and more every day, like, wow, like the universe and I are like literally attached to the hip to some extent, and like they really are kind of navigating you and helping you realize certain things. But yeah, I think confidence is very important. I also think this is confidence within a connection. If you do find yourself in a relationship this year, it's that same thing of, will you be confident within this connection? Will you trust this person? Will you be able to like actually let your guard down, or will you fall back into previous patterns? So I think a lot of this is intertwined with some connection that is coming into your life for group 4. And yeah, it doesn't feel bad. It just feels like yeah, like we just kind of have to prove that we have learned and we have evolved, and we are moving in the right directions, and not letting negativity or toxicity or unhealed wounds consume us the way they used to consume us in the past. But I do think overall your energy feels very, very nice. So let's keep going. That's what I'm sensing for your current energy, and also your overall love energy in 2026. And if that resonates with you, then stick around. We will get into the rest of our reading. But wow, I mean, Venus and love, this really feels like, and these are the two cards that have, like, this has the full moon, and then this has the whole planet on it as like this circular ball. So it just feels like very connected, these two things here. So I do think there's someone very special in 2026, and it feels like you deserved it, and I think that's another reason this like testing energy is here, because I think the universe is literally giving you your soulmate this year, and they just want to see if you can recognize that, but also how you're going to handle your soulmate. as well. So it's nice. So let's get into the next part of our reading. But yes, if that doesn't resonate, definitely check out a different group. So this is Cancer energy. We have Taurus and Libra with Venus. And then with the Wheel of Fortune here, we have all the fixed signs. So Taurus again, Leo, Aquarius, and Scorpio energy. Oh my God, I was just thinking about the Two of Cups. The reason I was thinking about the Two of Cups is because this card is Venus in Cancer, and this is Cancer, and we have Venus here. So I was thinking, oh, Venus in Cancer is Two of Cups, and then bam, I split the deck, and there's the Two of Cups. That's crazy. Okay, so first, let's see, for those who are single and you do not have a person in your life or on your mind, those who are single with no person, what is the energy in their love life in 2026? Those who are single with no person. And feel free to bounce around if you don't want to listen to all three sections. For those who are single and do not have a person, we have the Page of Pentacles. For those, let's see, what is the energy of their love life this year? Wow, that's a lot of cards falling out. Aw, I love this. It does feel like that energy seems more real than I thought, or like it might resonate with more people than I originally assumed, with this energy of you could have really worked through triggers or wounds from your past. Because immediately when I saw the Five of Cups and the Nine of Cups, it felt like there was sadness in your life. You know, there was triggers, there was wounds, there was heartbreaks. Some of it could have stemmed from you, others of it could have been from somebody else, but it does feel like there was difficult situations that you really had to heal and learn and grow from, and it was not easy. And I think that message makes more sense now, because it feels like for those of you who are single with no person on your mind, you're really overcoming the challenges that you have faced emotionally because of previous connections and previous relationships. And you're finally who you really are. Like, it feels like you're so in tune with yourself. You're so in tune with your feelings, your energies, your spirituality, but also just like who you are as a person. Like, you're just so in tune. You've really overcome so many things. And I think that's why Spirit is almost saying to you, we just like want to confirm, we just want to make sure that you will not go back to who you used to be or repeat certain patterns from the past, which I think like almost 99.999% sure you will not repeat patterns, because it feels like you're very healed, you're very happy, you're very fulfilled. You're literally this, like this Nine of Cups is literally this love and this Three of Cups energy. This is all about emotional fulfillment. This is all about feeling very content and at peace within yourself. So I do think a lot, like more of you than I realized, could actually be in this happy energy going into 2026 as a single person with no one on your mind. And it feels like for a lot of you, this is the first year of you being really healed and evolved, because maybe you were healing through 2025, you were healing through the past, and now you're finally this. You finally overcome that. And I love the Page of Pentacles here, because it feels like somebody who is ready. You know, you're ready to put yourself out there again, or you're ready to manifest this soulmate of yours to come in this year. And it also feels like little, it feels small. It doesn't feel like you're chasing, you're not running after anything, you're not forcing anything. You're just living your happy life, feeling very content and at peace, and like you're leaving the door open. That's what this feels like. It's like, I'm gonna leave the door open. Maybe I will, you know, go on a few dates. Maybe I'll just kind of like test the waters with people or put myself out there a little bit, but I'm not jumping into anything. I'm not forcing anything, and I'm leaving the door open because I'm finally ready to really like invest in a relationship with somebody. And I love that. I feel like that's so straightforward, but it's also really like what we've already been talking about. So I'm going to switch it like this. Also, the month of September could be significant for some of you, but I like this. We're going to cover up the 5 because you're not in that energy anymore. You have overcome that, and you are just finally radiating. Like, you're just literally have this love, and you're walking on sunshine, quite literally. And it feels like you're, for those who are single and who doesn't have a person, you're finally ready to, like, or you finally feel like 100% yourself to offer to somebody else. You know what I mean? Because when we're not healed and we are just, not, we're just putting a band-aid on our wounds, and we're not healing, then we're not 100% our true self or the person we want to be when we get into another relationship. But it feels like you really took the time to make sure everything is healed so you can 100% be yourself with the next person that comes into your life. So I love that. I think, like, the universe is so proud of you, so proud of your healing. And I also feel like you're very proud of yourself, because when you do meet somebody, you're like, yeah, like, I did this, I did all of this by myself. Like, it feels very humble, but it feels like I'm very proud of myself. I want to show off my accomplishments. I want to show off my hard work. So I love that as well. Let's see, what's the message for those who are single but have a person in mind? What is their energy and love in 2026? Ooh, Queen of Pentacles, more divine feminine energy. Let's clarify. Oh my God. Oh my God. I literally cannot make this up. I literally cannot make this up. I'm gonna put that back. I don't know why. Normally I would take it, but something is like, put it back. I wonder if it's gonna come out again later. Wow, I cannot make this up, you guys. We literally have a counterpart energy. We have a masculine on this side, feminine energy on this side. Wow. So for those of you, if you have a person on your mind, this is like the biggest green flag you will ever see. This is like a green light. It is saying, yes, like, there is so much potential here. There is just a lot with this person. But it's funny because I feel like you're shy, because look at how, like, it just feels like with this imagery with this queen looking at her pentacle and, like, not focusing on this person, it feels like you're a little shy or holding back from how you feel, or like holding back you expressing yourself to this person on how you really feel about them, because this is like, because you're still single. The intentions with this is you are single, but there is somebody on your mind. There is a person of interest. So it does feel like you have not fully expressed to them how you feel, or it's like you have, but you're taking it slow, like you're not in a committed relationship just yet. But I think that this is definitely somebody on your level. I also think this is somebody that's good for you, and this definitely feels like somebody who is interested in you. They feel emotionally intelligent, emotionally stable. This person genuinely has feelings for you, and I think this is like something that's very good, and spirit is encouraging you to explore this connection with this person. It's going to be different for everybody, because some of you, maybe you have never even told this person you have feelings for them, but the feelings are mutual. For others of you, maybe you're talking to them, it's like kind of in the early stages, or you're just taking it slow, but it feels very, very good. It feels like you're on the same level as each other. I know I already said that. And it's interesting because I almost feel like for those of you, if you do have a person of interest, but you are single, I think that's where spirit is almost seeing, is a previous version of you going to come out. I don't know what that means, right? Because I don't want to repeat everything I said, but pretty much what I said earlier, that is like very fitting for the energies I'm sensing. And I think they're almost paying close attention to you to see, is a previous version of group 4 going to come out in this situation, or are they really healed, and will they navigate the situation differently? Will they have a different mentality, different approach, So yeah, there's something about, and I don't know, I'm going to leave it at that, because There's like a lot of scenarios I could give, but it is a general reading. But whatever it is, this feels very, very good for whoever this person of interest is. And you are definitely being encouraged to at least see where it might go, to pursue it. And even if it, I don't know what's going to happen so far, but I think you are being encouraged to pursue it. All four of these cards, I don't always read the keywords because I don't always agree with it, but it all says yes. This says yes, this says yes, this says yes, this says yes. So yeah, there's a lot of yeses. Now, next, for those who are in a relationship, currently in a relationship, what is their energy for love in 2026? Those in group 4 that are already in a relationship. Group 4 that is already in a relationship. I can't. I'm done. This is where I'm. Okay. I always get to this point where I can't. It's literally I'm at a loss for words, and that's when I start making these sounds because I'm like, I don't know how else to express myself right now because my mind is blown. Like, my mind is literally blown, and I just start making sounds. And it sounds like I'm choking or stuttering. I'm not. I'm okay. I'm just like, mind is blown. Oh my gosh. What the heck? This is so crazy. I mean, it's not though, because I already said you and the universe are like this. And I just love when things like this happen, like on camera. I just love it because it's like, then you can't accuse me. You can't accuse me of being crazy. You can't accuse me of being fake. You can't accuse me of anything because I literally put this back in the deck. I shuffled and it came out. And I didn't even see it come out. I had to flip it over because it came out like that. Come on, you guys. I just feel like, do we need more proof about like what I'm doing here, or just about spirituality and psychic energies and just the universe and all this stuff? Like, do we need more proof? Because come on. Okay, anyway, I'm done with my little side tangent. I shall move on. But I knew it. I knew I had to put this back in the deck because I had a feeling. I was like, you know what? I think this is going to come out for those who are in a relationship, but I didn't want to say that, right? I didn't want to like put this energy out there before it actually happened, but I knew that I had to put it back in the deck because I was like, it has another purpose to serve. And here it is. So for those of you who are in a relationship with whoever the heck you're in a relationship with, this is your person, honey. This is your person. This is literally like lifelong relationship material. We literally have Venus with the 7th house, and even that Venus in Cancer with that 2 of Cups. We have Ace of Cups. Yeah, literally, I'm like, am I about to find that 2 of Cups again? Literally, this is your soulmate. And I really think that if you have not met this person yet, this almost feels like a timeline of your own relationship, because it really feels like if you have not met this person yet, there is a long-term stable relationship, could literally be your soulmate coming in 2026. And I said that in the very beginning. I was like, there's somebody else. Like, there's this other energy that is coming through with our group today. And yeah, so I do think that if you're already with this person, then this is your person. This could even be like your dynamic already, right? Like the masculine and the feminine energy, loving, nurturing, supportive, stable, long-term potential here. I mean, you literally cannot get better than the 10 of Pentacles. I should probably explain what this is. I'm just like so hyped. Okay, yeah, so it feels like whatever it is you're building with this person, it will literally last generations. So I'm thinking about like generational wealth. I'm thinking about literally like not family line, that's not the right word. Like you know what I mean? Like having kids and like grandkids and like your generation, like generations of people coming after you guys. But yeah, there's a lot of potential for long-term relationship. I'm just like so giddy. I like can't even speak because I'm so giddy. Anyway, and maybe that's again going back to why the universe is testing you, because they're literally giving you your soulmate, and they're saying, okay, group 4, are you going to repeat previous patterns? Is an old version of you gonna show up? Because this is for you, this is meant for you, this is like your happily ever after. So are you gonna show up as this evolved version of yourself? And I almost feel like Spirit is very serious with you because of all the signs and synchronicities that we have seen so far in your group. It's like they're not like, they're serious, you know, they're really saying that this is meant for you, but only if you're ready for it. And I know that sounds harsh, but I feel like they're very serious about that. And I think like 99.999% of you are ready for it. And I think that when you have moments that you are triggered, and you have moments where this unhealed version of you is wanting to come out, it's important to navigate that carefully. It's important to really think about it before you act. And it's important to really, for your own journey, to see, how am I going to react to this? How am I, for your own proof as well, to show yourself you've healed. How am I going to navigate something? How am I going to navigate conflict? How am I going to overcome stressful situations? But wow, I mean, that's just, I'm at a loss for words. This is Virgo energy, by the way. Yeah, okay, well, that was crazy. Okay, and for those of you who are actually like in a relationship, you could be getting engaged this year. You could be getting married this year. It does feel like you're solidifying something. So you're taking something and you're making it real, or I mean, it's already real, but you're making it, you're like locking it in, you know what I mean? Like, this is it. And I think you are, yeah, either getting engaged, getting married, you could be buying a home together, moving in together, but whatever it is, you're taking the next step of commitment in 2026. I feel very strongly about that. So let's move on. That was a very turbulent, in a good way, but that was crazy. This portion of our reading was really crazy. Okay, I don't know if I can lay all of them out actually, so I'm just gonna leave it like that. So my mom probably thinks I'm going crazy sometimes when I'm like yelling in here. She's like, what are you doing? Because she knows I work in my room, because, you know, I'm living at home. I've been at home for a while, and she knows I work at home, and it is during the day, so it's not like, I'm not like yelling at night, but I get so wound up sometimes, and I'm sure if she can hear me, she's probably like, there she goes again. She probably thinks I'm crazy. But she knows that, like, I am recording, you know, she doesn't think I'm here talking to myself, because that would be even crazier. But anyway, let's get into your timeline. Okay, I do want to say, if you skipped the individual sections, I encourage you to watch all of them, because I feel like that was almost a timeline of like these series of events leading to some kind of a union with somebody. So I know we're going into the official timeline now, but I do think that if you kind of skipped around for this, when I had this deck, go back to the very beginning and watch all of it, because I feel like all of it could be significant for you. And this is the first group I've actually felt that way for. Everything else up until now was very divided to where you probably didn't need to listen to all of them. But I think for this one, you probably should listen to all of them. Okay. Yes, so your timeline, your love life in 2026 timeline. All right, for group 4's love life in 2026. So I don't really like the word timeline, because it makes it seem like it's set in stone, which it's not. I don't believe that time is set in stone, and we have free will, so things could change in any given moment, whenever, right? Like, nothing is set in stone. So I'm gonna pull like a series of events, but the way we can view it is like, this can be the first half of the year, this can be like middle of the year, and this could be the later half of the year. So kind of like that, but I'm gonna leave it up to your own interpretation on like when it could happen, because it's a general reading and time is not set in stone. So I mean, it could be like, it could be anywhere, and I think we'll just kind of leave that up to our own interpretation. But let's get a timeline of events for group 4's love life in 2026. Group 4's love life. Bruh. I literally can't make this up. You have the 10 of Pentacles now, you have the 10 of Cups. This is the first card that's coming out too for you guys. So it's like, can we get any more obvious at this point? Yeah, I mean, okay, for some of you, if you are already in a relationship, you are definitely going into 2026, like quite literally like getting engaged or getting married, or there's something huge, like something very big is happening within your connection very early on in this year. Like the first few months of the year, there is something going on within your connection. So, you know, stick around for that. I think that there's a lot of happiness, there's a lot of fulfillment, and I think for those of you, if you are like ready for this level of commitment or like something big is happening, I think you would already have been with this person for a while, or at least like you've been with them since 2025. I don't think you're just like meeting somebody in January of 2026 and then getting engaged the next month. I don't think so. So it does feel like for those of you who are already in a committed relationship with somebody, you are taking that next step. And I said that earlier too. So like, you know, engagement, marriage, this really looks like a wedding. It could also be moving in together, or just kind of making it official, or like doing something to solidify it a little bit more. For those of you who are not in a relationship, or if you just have a person of interest, I think that something is escalating very quickly. And you could honestly, like if you don't have a person and you're totally single, you're meeting this person like right now, like today. Maybe not today, that's me being dramatic, but you're meeting somebody very soon. In the first few months of the year, this soulmate is entering your life. And I think that is exactly why we keep going back to this, your commitment is being tested, because it's the commitment to yourself. It's the commitment to your healing. It's the commitment to your own journey. And the universe is literally giving you somebody right away to see, okay, group 4, here's your soulmate. Are you ready for it? You know, or here's that commitment. Are you ready for it? And I feel like that's why this is like the central theme of how the universe is like communicating with you this year, is like they're really observing you very closely to see how you have evolved. But yeah, I think if you don't have somebody, you're meeting them very soon, first few months of the year. Now, if you do have a person of interest, I also think things are escalating very, very quickly. I already said that it's mutual between the two of you, right? Even if you're taking it slow, or if you've been nervous about it, it is still like there is that mutual energy between the two of you. So I do think you're getting into something very quickly, spending time together frequently, you know, things are just escalating fast. And this is all about emotion. So you could literally feel like you're walking on sunshine. You know, you're feeling like you're falling in love right away with this person. And maybe that's another reason you're a little nervous, because I was like getting this energy of like you're a little anxious about something, and maybe you just feel like it's moving too quickly. You feel like, oh my God, like this is too good to be true because it's moving so fast. And I will say to that time like doesn't really exist. Like, what is time? You know, like we have this like societal view that you should spend time with somebody, you know, before you feel love, before you fall in love with them. But I don't agree with that. You know, I think like, okay, if you're meeting somebody and getting married the next month, maybe that's a little fast, because marriage is like a legal thing, you know. But I think like love, there is no time frame on love. If you meet somebody and you're falling in love like within the few weeks of knowing this person, and you're immediately feeling like this is my soulmate, that's fine. And you are so valid, and you are allowed to feel that way, because there is no timeline on when you should or shouldn't fall in love with somebody, you know. So I do think like, whether it's a person of interest or whether it's a brand new person you're meeting, emotions are running high and emotions are escalating very, very fast. So yeah, okay. I feel like that was crazy, a crazy card to start off with, but let's see. 20, what am I asking? I'm like so lost. Oh yeah, group 4. I'm like so like frazzled. Is that a word? Frazzled? Let's see. Group 4's love life in 2026. Let me get all my cards out first. Group 4's, oh, this looks very similar to that, doesn't it? Like some kind of flower looking thing coming out of the cups, and this literally looks like the champagne tower at a wedding or something like that. Group 4's love life in 2026. Ooh. High Priestess. Group 4's love life in 2026. I'm going to take these together, and I'm actually going to put that in the reverse. Group 4's love life in 2026, later on in the year. Okay, you know what? I'm actually going to put these together. That makes more sense. This is the 10 of Swords in the reverse and the 8 of Swords in the reverse. Wow. Literally the 10 of Pentacles again. Oh, and the King of Cups. You actually have the King of Cups out twice, because there is the King of Cups, and then you have the King of Cups again. So I think, for one, I do think I'm talking to more of the Divine Feminines here, because it almost feels like I'm talking about a masculine person. But again, general reading, take that with a grain of salt. If you resonate as a masculine energy, and you know this is a feminine energy that you are interested in, or that you're with, or if you're like masculine to a masculine, like it doesn't matter. Like, take it as however, but it does feel like whoever this person is, they genuinely love you, or they will genuinely love you. And again, maybe in the past you were hurt, you were left confused, you were left broken by previous relationships, because again, we go back to that emphasis on the universe wanting to know if you are really healed. Because for some of you, in the past, you could have really doubted if somebody said I love you, or you could have doubted if love was real, if somebody could actually treat you this way. If something is too good to be true, maybe you would end up self-sabotaging the situation. Like, I feel like that is a previous version of somebody here. And again, we keep going back to that, because I think the universe is really trying to get you to understand this is somebody that loves you. This is a real person. Like, they are not going to do what has been done to you in the past. And I think there's a lot of trust and faith and surrendering that goes along with that. And I think that is very, very important, because whoever this person is, they are 110% legit with what they are saying to you, with what they say they want with you, and they are not a repetition of something from your past. I think that's very important for you to know that, because I do think that, especially if this is somebody new, or, you know, I take that back, whoever this is that you are in this connection with, whether it's new, whether you're already with them, with this 10 of Swords and that 8 of Swords in the reverse, it feels like later on this year, that is what you are healing from this connection. Or let me clarify that. Going into 2026, you are healing something that has not been healed while you were single, right? Because we said that earlier. And a lot of that could be control, or again, past wounds, past triggers, past heartbreaks, whatever previous things were. So it feels like going into this connection with this person, or as it develops for you, you are previous versions of you are kind of peeking up, because you're like, wait, this is too good to be true. This person actually loves me. Or are we moving too fast? Is this going to crash and burn because we're moving too fast? Like, I sense this anxiety, I sense this limiting beliefs, this negative way of thinking and of being, like all of these things, I sense it coming up. So it just feels like going into this year, you're very happy, but I do think parts of an unhealed version of yourself are coming up. But what's very good is at the end, like closer to the end of this year, because it feels like you are healing with this person through 2026. So by the time the year is closing out, you have closed out these limiting beliefs, and you have really closed out the previous cycles and previous patterns of your previous self. Like, that is done. It is being put in a box, and you are chucking that box into the ocean because it is gone. And that's what I love to see. And I think our messages from earlier are coming full circle now, because that is how you are ending off this year. And I love that the 10 of Pentacles is out here again, because, and the 10 of Cups and 10 of Pentacles, because it is showing me that by the end of this year, you have found, how do I want to say this? You're very like stable with what this is. The foundation you build with this person, the trust you have with this person, the love that both of you share, the plans for the future that both of you have together, like, this is being solidified to the max, like to the point where nothing can break it down. Your previous versions of yourself are not going to come in and break this down. Nothing is going to ruin this, because you build such a solid foundation with this person. And a lot of it is also because you have completely closed out the previous version or previous cycles that you have experienced. And that's why I love this, because this really feels like your soulmate. It feels like long-term potential, and you are ending this year off much sturdier. I know that's not the right way to put it, but like much sturdier than you started the year off as with this person. And I think 2026 is a huge year of healing and closing out previous chapters, closing out these unhealed wounds that you have. Anyway, I'm rambling. I should probably end this soon, but we also have the High Priestess. I think that as the year goes on, you definitely are growing stronger within your spirituality, within your psychic abilities, but also within your own intuition. You're growing very strongly within that. And I think your intuition has a lot to do with this, tying this out and closing out these chapters, and really becoming this better version of yourself and becoming this very stable version of yourself. Your intuition is playing a huge part in that. But yeah, there's a lot of love, there's a lot of celebration and happiness and with this person, not only in the earlier parts of the year, but the entire year, and probably for a very long time to come after this year as well. There's a lot of celebration, so something could definitely be happening, like that first mid-year part of the year, the first few months of the year. Something is definitely happening, and I feel like the second half of the year, you are going through this intense spiritual change where you are closing out something from the past. But this feels very good. It feels very fun, very lively. I think, yeah, I think that's pretty much it. What I was going to say. What was I going to say with the Six of Cups? There's a sense of familiarity that you feel with this person as well. But yeah, there's a lot of love. There's a lot of celebration with this person. There's a lot of good times, good memories with this person. And you just feel very good about them. And it almost feels like you're going to have such a good first half of the year that the second half of the year is where that anxiety creeps in of like, oh my God, this is so good to be true. Is it gonna burn out? You know, this is so good to be true. Am I going to lose them? Like, it's like those limiting beliefs, but that is a previous version of yourself. So that's why it feels like there's something, because of how good the first half of the year is, you are really healing and closing out previous cycles and previous patterns, and you're getting rid of it, and you're not going to have that moving forward, because then you have your foundation. Wow, what a group. I love it. This was just a roller coaster of everything for this group, but I just absolutely love it. Let's get some advice to end off our reading here for group number 4. A few fell on me. Let's get advice for group 4, ending out their reading here. Opportunity. Listen to your intuition. We have the High Priestess out again. We have get more information. I don't know what that means. I think just interpret that with whatever it is for your own situation. And then we have improving health. This could also be mental health and spiritual health as well. And then this is within the next few weeks. So yeah, that actually makes sense because it feels like, oh, this one flipped over too and it says yes. So that actually makes sense because it feels like something is happening very quickly for you. So that's probably happening very, very soon. Within the next few weeks. Makes sense. So, all right, group 4. That is where I'm leaving you guys off for our YouTube version. So now in the extended, we're going to get some more information about your person specifically, and such as age, appearance, personality type, job, etc. Like anything that you want to know about your person or what spirit is willing to share with us. And we'll also get, or you could use this as a confirmation if you already have this person on your mind, but if not, you know, you can use it as like insight to this person. We will get any important signs or events about this connection to look out for. We'll look at your long-term compatibility with them, and we will actually get a message directly from this person. So all of that is in the extended. If you are interested, it is linked in the description below. You can purchase the extended as a one-time purchase, or you can subscribe to Patreon. There's 2 tiers on Patreon now, so definitely make sure you read which tier has the extended. It is the 2nd tier. So then on the 2nd tier, you get access to like our exclusive content, also the extendeds. But then, you know, it doesn't really matter to me. It's whatever you want to do. If you want to just get it as a one-time purchase, that is totally fine. But if you don't want to get it at all, that is totally fine too, you guys. You know, that is just added information, but this is a lot, and I wanted to give this to you because I really wanted to help you with your love life in 2026. So even if you don't go over there, that is totally okay with me. Thank you so much for clicking on this video, for watching this, for sharing your energy with me. Thank you so much for letting me ramble to you, letting me get so excited and pumped and kind of yelling, but thank you for letting me be myself during this reading. I really love that. So, okay. Also, if you want to book a reading with me for your own situation, go ahead and send me an email. My email is in the description below. My schedule is open now since we're in January and we're not in the holidays anymore. So my schedule is much more open, I have much more space available. I can't speak. Anyway, email me if you feel called to do so, you guys, but take good care of yourself and please like and subscribe, and I'll talk to you very soon. Bye.